Hey everybody, welcome back to the Balcony Time podcast. I'm Andy, and I spell woe correctly.
I'm Josh, and I'm just relieved this isn't the casting couch.
This is Andrew, and I believe I may have been staring into the abyss too long.
And this is Nick, and I'm really glad my fingers don't have taste buds. So, can birds be racist?
Well, you were talking earlier about crows.
Yeah, just the fact that they can learn who people are that help them, and they can hold grudges. At the very least, there was a crow downtown on Biddle that would attack me every time I'd walk by.
Yeah.
What do you
I don't
mean
know.
attack you?
He'd try to fly down and get really close to my head, and I'd have to duck, and I don't know what he was trying to do. But I might not be the only person he attacks, but I wonder, like, if a bird just gets messed with hard enough by, like, I don't know, a woman or a white guy or a child, if they just hold a grudge against that kind of human into
So
perpetuity.
like small humans or, somebody of a darker
Yeah, bird just
complexion.
friggin' hates children.
Yeah,
Crows are pretty smart, though.
Yeah.
they are.
So you're
Corvids.
like crow's like an old guy then? Like,
Like, see,
Get off
You
my
get
lawn.
off of my branch.
get off my branch.
Get out of my parking lot. This is my garbage.
Maybe he was trying to gather your glorious beard for his nest.
He's going after
Ooh.
my hat.
Well, that's a nest in itself.
It's just
Yeah,
like a
dude.
free nest.
That is
That's
a free nest.
He's like, that's an opportunist. He's a bird that is also an entrepreneur.
I've heard that you can wear your sunglasses backwards, and it keeps them from doing that because they think you're watching them.
Oh.
Like a tiger.
Yeah, they have those eye
What?
spots on their ears or whatever.
So, where tigers live, people will they have masks that have faces on the back that they'll wear them, and it will kind of help to prevent a tiger attack.
Mm.
Apparently,
I thought you were
tiger
talking about
thinks you're looking at it.
tigers
Yeah.
have these spots on their ears that when they're down getting water, it's like one of their most vulnerable times. Their ears end up kind of looking like eyes.
so there's
There's a
I've
picture
seen
on Reddit
picture
the
of
other
that,
day.
yeah.
It
So,
might have been
I
on their
mean-
neck, but
so it's kind of like a double tiger thing, both avoiding tigers and the tiger itself being safe.
I need to buy more masks.
I want a tiger mask.
I want a crow
Dude, there's so much work.
to keep.
It's like
Crows are work?
It's like a flying toddler. You really want to
That's
have
kind
to
of
deal
true,
with
man.
Yeah, it screams and yells about corn and Jon Snow knowing nothing.
I feel like if I just tamed a crow to come near me for a long enough period of
that? Gain
time,
the power of Odin.
then it wouldn't be like, it wouldn't be like a pet, right? He'd just be like this crow.
The
that I
neighborhood
hung out
crow.
with.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like if you
He's-
had a
he's not
crow,
my pet, I
it would
just
be
hang
your
out with him.
your accomplice. Like you would train it to bring you shiny
Yeah,
things.
exactly.
Because
Oh,
I've
yeah.
actually heard of people doing that.
I
Like
have heard of that too.
like you feed the crow and it brings you a coin, so then you really feed the crow, and it's like,
And then-
oh,
and then
it
brings
likes
you
shinies.
doubloons.
I get
Mm.
corn for shinies.
It brings you like a slip of paper, and it's got the payroll truck like time and address.
Well, that's what Andrew would train it to do.
Yeah.
Wait, to do I spaced
Crow
out there.
heist.
Yeah,
Crow
that
heists.
would be cool.
Crow Heist
Yeah.
would be an excellent
I
TV
spaced
show.
out because I don't know if crows can be racist or if birds can be racist, but I know people can depict crows in racist manners.
You can make anything
wasn't there
racist.
that-
Well,
wasn't-
what could be racist about a crow?
wasn't
Don't answer that.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. If his
Wasn't
name
that-
was Jim, for instance,
Yeah.
that's a good point.
Jim Crow?
Whoa.
Whoa.
I never put that together, but
that's literally the crow's name from Dumbo. His name is Jim Crow.
That's right.
Is it?
Yeah.
I never realized that.
Yeah.
I don't think I ever actually I think I watched Dumbo. I don't ever remember watching it, though.
I was a child.
Yeah, no, as a very small child when I watched Dumbo.
I remember the freaky alcohol scene.
Yeah, where he gets drunk and dances around. It's
Mhm.
a whole traumatic
It's all
thing.
like weird neon colors, right?
Though
Yeah,
a
they're
lot
all
of those
flying
old
around.
Disney movies are traumatic in some way, though. You know,
Yeah.
like death of Bambi's mom.
Yeah.
A lot of moms dying or having their kids taken away.
Yeah. And a lot
Yeah.
of really incompetent fathers.
Yeah, like that, like Bambi's dad just being like, nah, whatever, I'm out.
To be fair, he was a deer.
Yeah. You hold him to so high of a standard. It's not like he's a crow, you know.
Like at least they wrote him true to
Yeah,
form.
no, the crow cared about Dumbo.
Yeah.
Oh, we were talking about Bambi. Sorry. Oops.
He'd probably
Yep.
care about Bambi, too.
Yeah, he absolutely would. He had a cigar though, and a little hat, as I remember.
Yeah.
I don't remember. Dude, honestly, it's kind of an unpopular opinion, but I don't like about half of Disney's movies.
No,
Like,
I
just
don't
in
like a
general?
lot of Disney
Yeah, just
movies.
in general.
I was talking about this earlier tonight, actually. I don't like like any of the princess movies. Like I don't really like Snow White. I don't like Cinderella. I don't like Sleeping Beauty.
Yeah.
And it's probably because I'm not like a little girl.
Probably because you don't want to be a
Probably.
princess. You've never
Exactly.
You know, there was one that I really did like at the time. I don't know how much it would stand up to my adulthood likes, but Anastasia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think that's a
one.
Disney movie though.
Oh,
That's right.
Yeah, no, I don't-
remember the animation.
Yeah, no, Anastasia's. I don't think it's a Disney
Let
movie.
me pull up Disney princess movies. We also have like, is Moana a Disney princess movie?
Well,
Right. Yeah. I
so
think
if we're talking Disney princesses now, Disney owns a lot of IP. So
Oh,
is
yeah.
Princess Leia a Disney
I
princess?
think
Well,
we're talking
maybe
about
now,
the
but we're talking,
animated
like-
movies we grew up with. So
Yeah.
Disney
Okay.
princess movies. that,
Oh, so from like
like
nostalgia,
what? Maybe
sake.
like
Okay.
2000 and before. Maybe?
Okay, that's fair.
I
Well,
think-
I mean, Moana's fairly recent though. So
think
if
we
you're
can make
including
it-
Moana,
You guys remember when Disney was doing like live action sort of kids movies though? Like wasn't that soccer movie a Disney movie? The
Bend It Like
sure.
Beckham.
Not Bend It Like
Oh.
Beckham. The one with all the ragtag kids becoming a soccer team. It had the chubby redhead.
You're
kid with
killing
all
me,
the
Smalls,
freckles.
but not the green.
At
not-
one point they
not
put all the
Green
chips
Mile.
on the kid and
No,
the
definitely
thinking
not.
of
not the Green Mile.
Definitely not the Green
Sandlot.
Mile.
No, the Sandlot's the baseball one, but I know what he's thinking of. It has the same kid from the
the
Sandlot.
big green or
The Big
something?
Green or
Is that what
something
it's
like
called?
that.
Big
Yeah,
Green Mile.
You guys don't remember
Yeah,
that? Big
no.
Green Mile.
it's a very different movie.
And
There could still be
Didn't
soccer,
Disney
though.
do the Mighty Ducks?
Yeah,
So-
of course they did.
They did that skating movie that was pretty cool back when I was a teenager.
Emilio Estevez. The
Apparently,
good Sheen.
the Disney
Yeah.
princesses are known as the princess line in stark corporate terms. But if we go through the list here,
Is Leia in
we've
the
got
princess
Snow
line?
White, Cinderella, Aurora, Ariel, Belle, Jasmine, Pocahontas, Mulan, Tiana, Rapunzel, Merida. Oh yeah, from Brave.
Yeah, the Brave.
and
Oh,
Moana.
yeah.
So Brave was great. Moana was great. I liked Mulan growing up.
Yeah.
You know, I loved Little Mermaid.
Well, I feel like
cool music
Mulan
in
was
it.
their first real she doesn't need to be saved. She's gonna save everyone else instead.
Was Mulan. I would
Yeah,
or
like-
Pocahontas. Did Mulan come out before Pocahontas?
I think
They're both
Pocahontas
kind
was
of-
first.
I think Pocahontas was first, but
Yeah.
I don't know, Jon Snow, or not Jon Snow.
I almost said Jon Snow, too.
Yeah, you know nothing, Jon Snow. Jon Smith did a lot of saving though. And also,
Yeah.
that guy was like a real turd burglar in real life, like a kidnapping, take you back to England, force you to do stuff.
yeah,
kind
those
of
Disney tales they're a little cleaned up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the Hunchback of Notre Dame in real life was a fucking prick. Just-
I didn't know he was a real thing.
I don't know that either. Just
You know what?
Okay.
He started the fire.
Oh man,
Well, I mean,
little short arse.
like a business thing, had to reclaim
Like
some,
like
for
the
the insurance
insurance.
money. Yeah.
Like Tony Soprano thing.
so
No, we were talking about excuse me. I think we were talking about the Never-Ending Story 1 or 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Like sort
every
of in that-
podcast.
Okay. I downloaded it and watched the Never-Ending Story.
Nice.
It is not good.
Oh.
bullshit.
It is not.
Mm.
bullshit.
Rose-colored
it's probably not
glasses.
good.
Huh?
It was definitely an age-specific thing.
Yeah.
And for what it is good because I was watching that movie and it made me realize that at some point during our childhoods there was this war to make sure that kids still read.
Yeah.
Oh,
And the Never-Ending Story was one of those
Accelerated
parts
reading.
of that war
Princess
because that
Bride.
movie is exactly like Princess Bride. This is a movie literally teaching kids how to read
Mm-hmm.
and how to stay engaged in a book, right?
Mhm.
The whole movie is this kid up in a school attic all day long, eating, and at one point he's eating an apple, having a nutritious snack and shit. And at
Yeah.
one point he's gonna get a tray you wouldn't give up now, and continues to read and hunkers down.
Yeah.
And, it is a movie about here's how you read.
No, that's a
interesting
fair
take.
point. No, and I remember other books or other movies like that, like the Page Master. Remember, he's like that
Exactly.
little blonde kid with the glasses. And
Fuck yeah, dude.
So-
That was Macaulay Culkin, wasn't it?
No, he's like he looked
No.
like Macaulay Culkin. He's like
Macaulay
a
Culkin light.
mhm.
I'm
The light
pretty-
version. Yeah, you
I'm
know
pretty
who?
sure that was Macaulay Culkin.
Okay, I mean, but definitely maybe. I'm not willing to say
Tango,
it's
look
not.
that up.
Yeah.
But there's like, and then
We need to
Princess
sound
Bride.
like that.
Like by
Yeah.
the end, the grandpa's getting like, no, grandpa, we got to finish the book. You know, like it's a thing.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if part of that was
So we're looking up the
at
Page
least part
Master.
of it was
Oh,
a.
that does look like Macaulay Culkin, dude.
Yeah.
Oh
it's
shit!
100%.
Oh, it is. Is it?
Yeah. It says that was his first. That was the first name there.
I actually don't see him here on the voice cast.
I saw it in like the first
I did too.
sentence, starring Macaulay Culkin, Christopher Lloyd,
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Patrick Stewart.
Oh,
Yeah.
because he wasn't a voice cast. He was. I mean, he was a real child. I don't think he was an animated version of himself.
boy.
I want to point out one thing before we lose the topic entirely.
Yeah.
There's this guy named Mooney that worked on the Disney princesses, and he decided that when featuring on marketing advertisements such as posters, the princesses should never make eye contact with each other in an attempt to keep their individual quote-unquote mythologies intact. Each stares off in a slightly different direction as if unaware of the other's presence.
That's it.
Wow.
You know, you never think about it until you really start interacting with Disney, like the company I does work for, but the quality control they go to, little things like that, you wouldn't think about it. But
Yeah. No, it's
There is a decision.
they're
There's a
an
meeting
intensive
over every
corporation
decision.
about that.
tiled into the T, right?
That's fascinating. I'm wondering. There's kind of that same attitude with Apple.
Just
Their walled.
brand
Oh
image.
yeah. I
Oh,
mean,
yeah.
Johnny Ive, right? He is one of like the most.
Who's that?
Johnny Ive is the like creative director for Apple, or was. He actually just left Apple recently. He's still going to continue to work for them under contract, but he was employed by Apple, and I mean, he is one of the biggest figureheads of Apple. I mean, behind Steve Jobs and Tim Cook is Johnny Ive. He's been the one to make all the design decisions for Apple since the iPhone, or maybe even prior to the iPhone. And I think that is kind of a similar thing. When they talk about their products, they're selling you an experience rather than a product, right? So every portion of it, there's this beautiful, sleek sides, but they also double as the Wi-Fi antenna or something like that. And I think they have kind of that same rule set almost. And I'm wondering if maybe that has a little bit to do with the success of things like Apple and Disney, is just total and utter control. Almost telling you what you must enjoy, what you have to like.
Well, it makes it easier to
Makes it easier to just like it.
to sell you shit later.
Yeah,
Right?
it- yeah, it sure does.
Because you get to just like make.
Well,
what
and the
you've told
message is
them.
clear.
It's a
Right.
huge part, for sure.
Do people just want to be told what to like?
Yes.
I feel like most of
More
the time.
often than not, that is.
Yeah.
If you
yes.
phrase it in the way that
like
people
not phrased that way.
tend
no.
to like things that other people, quote unquote, seem to like,
Sure.
and what other people seem to like are what they see in media.
When I waited tables, I hated it when people would be like, I'm really thinking about this or this. What do you suggest? Or I would hate that shit because I would answer the question and they'd either be like, "Oh, that's great," or "I'll try that," or they'd be like, "No, I'll do this instead."
Yeah.
Right? So like they already had their mind made up,
Mhm.
right? So I just started giving a random answer every time, and it usually boiled down to whatever was the most expensive thing on the menu between what they asked.
Sure.
Yeah.
And nobody cares. They just want validation in their choices.
Yeah.
A lot of the time.
I think there's something there.
And
he
so-
picked the same thing I was thinking.
Exactly.
That means something for
Yeah.
for
reasons.
some arbitrary reason.
They were just looking at you to back up their choice.
Yeah.
I mean, validation is nice. I'm not going to deny that.
Sure.
You
But
know, when you-
over food choice, like that's the weird part of it.
It's a
Is
little
it's like
Skinner
it's such
box,
a
man.
little
Man, it's
minutia.
the
little
it's
things.
the little things in
Yeah.
life. No, it really is. It's the little things in life. They make you happy. They make you angry.
when you work at a restaurant, it's like, obviously, I'm going to tell you that everything's at least good because I work here. I'm not going to say, oh yeah, don't get that. It's made out of chicken pox, right?
Right.
So I think a lot of those people probably haven't worked in restaurants, or maybe not even like a customer-facing job, where it's.
I think that should be mandatory.
Oh,
I think it's part of like
especially
a high school
at least
project.
in America,
Yeah,
because that's what we know.
Yeah, you must work in
But
some kind of customer-facing
At least a month.
service job.
Well, and here's the thing too: is like, I think what people don't realize is when you ask the question that, "Oh, what's good tonight?" or something like that, you're asking in the context of like, "Hey, what's fresh?"
Yeah.
Right? Like, what's seasonal?
Mm-hmm.
That's really what you're asking. And when you come into like the brew pub that we're working at, or like whatever, it's like this shit all came off a truck on Tuesday. You
Yeah.
know, like there's
Right.
we weren't down at the farmer's market or
Yeah.
nothing.
This shit
Like,
came from
this-
Reese's. It's prepackaged.
Yeah, this ain't
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
not the right question to ask
Right.
at this place.
Sure.
Just fucking pick something.
At most places, they're gonna they aren't going down to the farmer's market at the beginning of the day to pick out the
Exactly.
ripest ingredients, or you'd pay a fucking premium for it, right?
Sure.
Because it's not like those places don't exist. But more often than not, they're going to the cash and carry and buying, a
Ding, ding,
400
ding,
pounds
ding,
of
ding.
beef.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, bulk pricing. Price is right.
Yeah.
We have restaurants here that do that kind of stuff.
Sure.
But
Sure.
you're not going to get those $11, $12 dinners.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're gonna pay $36 for your dinner.
Well, it's kind of weird to like get a stranger's opinion on something that you're like
It is subjective.
that is so
Yeah.
that's really subjective. It's like asking
Yeah.
like, oh, hey, where should I go on vacation?
I have no fucking clue.
That's a good
I don't
point.
know you.
What, exactly.
Well, if you're
Yeah.
not for as far as food goes, if you're not a picky eater, it's not a bad idea to get a suggestion from somebody that works there and has sampled all the food.
I feel like a picky eater's not the person asking that question, though.
I don't know, man. I think the picky eaters, I think they are looking for validation as much as anybody else.
I'm sorry. I mean,
I-
I feel like the non-picky eater is not the one asking that question. It's going to be the picky eater. Like,
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I got that backwards.
I suppose that's true because the non-picky eater is going to
Gonna
look
be
at the
like,
menu.
oh, hey, well,
but the non-picky eater may not be able to make up their mind.
Yeah, no, that's true. Like, have several decisions in mind.
Right. Because I am not a picky eater. The only thing that I don't want on my food typically is like a whole tomato.
Yeah.
Or a large slice of tomato. I'm just not a fan.
There's a whole tomato in my
No,
burger,
I-
sir.
This is a tomato burger, sir. That's what you ordered. Well, fuck. But no, it's. I am not a terribly picky eater.
I was
That's the only
watching,
thing that I really don't
yeah.
want to eat. And sometimes it's literally like these 8 things all sound really fucking good right now.
Let's spin something positive out of this. From our experience, if we were to be asked something in a restaurant, what would be a good question to ask? My thinking is something like, "Hey waiter, I really like bitter and spicy things. What do you have on the menu that would fit that bill?" Or tonight, I'm really feeling like something heavy. Something at least
Sure.
slightly specific.
Maybe
You
guide your service person. in
They
the right
could still
direction.
just look at the menu and see, but some menus, they just give you like an ingredient list.
Yeah.
And you're
Huh.
like, well, yeah, but I don't know exactly what that's going to taste like.
I feel like
Mhm.
asking what the specials are. That's like a completely
yeah.
different thing.
That's a
like,
good
because a lot of places where I've been going out to recently have rotating menus
Mhm.
and like weekly specials. So like the nachos aren't going to be the same thing, or they'll have different wings each
Mhm.
week.
That's the
So-
kind of place I need to go to, is some place that makes a variety of food like that. Because, also that would be frustrating because sometimes when you go to those places, you eat something that you absolutely adore,
Yeah, then
and
they
you'll
don't
never
have
be
it.
able to eat it again, unless you make it at home, I guess. But
It's not
Yeah.
the same though.
it's never.
I
Never.
guess from the perspective of a server, I don't want you to ask me any questions.
Just
I
tell me
just
exactly
want
what
you to
you
give me your
want.
fucking order.
Yeah, that's fair.
I don't know, man. If you give a really good suggestion, maybe you make some good tips.
Yeah, well, tipping is like so ingrained in the culture that it's
Yeah.
gonna be a wash to like a overall average at the end of the month anyway. You
Yeah.
know,
Probably.
unless you're working at a place that is a little more focused on like the customer experience as opposed to like just turning tables. I've never worked in like a fine dining place or anything like
Sure.
that, but I imagine in that type of place you're eking a little bit more.
You
What
know
for?
something sickening. It baffled me. I went to Texas Roadhouse for the first time
Mhm.
a little ways back.
Is that the place where you can throw the peanuts on the floor?
No, that's Roadhouse Grill.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So Texas Roadhouse, I think, is a chain. It's just a big. Here's a bunch of meat and carbs,
Gotcha.
and yeah,
Here's
it's delicious.
barbecue sauce.
Right.
There's gravy.
but
here's
We were
good
like in the
stuff.
middle of the meal, and I don't remember if it was a song that came on the radio or like a bell, but suddenly all the servers, mind you, which they're like 90% women, all get up and line up and start dancing to music.
Yeah.
And
the
like
boot scoot and
you
boogie.
can see them smiling with only their mouth muscles as they're sitting there having to like line dance. Apparently they do that every hour.
Yeah, they do that every hour.
And I was like, oh, you poor souls.
Dude, it's so frustrating.
I almost got sick to my stomach because like
It's the same thing. I went out with a friend last weekend to a Mexican restaurant, and my fucking God, do I hate when the entire restaurant gets interrupted for happy birthday song.
Oh yeah.
Happy birthday.
People fucking love that shit. And I don't know, dude, but the same kind of people, this is in particular this time, a lady, so she was a Karen. She's a very suburban mom, you know, looking
Want to
kind
speak
of
to your
person.
manager?
Absolutely. She is a Karen.
Got to keep
Okay.
them Kyles in line.
Sure. Okay. But she asks one of the waitresses, she says to her, do you guys do like that cockroach song or any of the other Mexican songs? Ooh, did that rub me the wrong way? It's like something about that is just
The cockroach song?
La
cucaracha.
Yeah, I know.
La
Like,
cucaracha.
Yeah.
how hard is it to say La Cucaracha?
right.
She clearly
But I
didn't
think she
care.
refused because she's a Karen and she doesn't know how to say tortilla correctly. You know what I mean?
Tortilla.
Yeah, dude. So having worked at a Taco Bell for like 9 years,
You've heard every iteration.
so you wouldn't believe how many people don't know how to say tortilla.
It's just tortilla, right?
Yeah,
Was it tortilla?
a lot of people. I mean, so some people are obviously going to be joking. They're going to be like, "Can I get that? You know, can you grill my tortilla? You know,
Yeah.
whatever." But
Give
there
me a
are
hand kill.
also other people that don't know how to say quesadilla.
Mm.
That was the big one.
They're like they're
Quesadilla.
trying to read it
Maybe they're trying to read it and they haven't associated that word
because
right?
they had to have heard the word.
They had to have, right?
Yeah.
Like you can't make
It's
it
not
to
their first time
40
reading it.
or
If you're going to
whatever.
be coming through a drive-through, you're hopefully 16 years of age and driving a car.
Right.
You've read the word
you've
quesadilla
heard
before.
quesadilla.
You've heard quesadilla, but Jesus, man, but Karen's reading from a Mexican menu, so of course she's like, "Can I get the topolado sauce? You know that kind of shit." You know, so anyway. Anyway, just the most frustrating thing is there are people that like that stuff because she's requesting additional sing-songs for her fucking table.
Happy
Right.
birthday wasn't enough.
Happy birthday was not enough. That's like, and
Can you bring out more maracas next time?
right? No, that's
Yeah.
that's the kind
Go
of
to a
suggestion
show,
that you
lady.
expect
This is
from
a
this lady.
restaurant.
Yeah,
You know what? I equate those people kind of into the same category as people who won't get out of the passing lane on the freeway.
oh yeah.
Like, you know, there's no one else on the road. You just come up behind them and they're like, oh, you know what? I'm going to make you deal with my shit and pass me on the right. It's like,
So I actually kind of want to talk a little bit about road rage, just a little bit here. So I'm going to preface this with I was already in a store. I was already kind of heated because so you guys know I'm a big dude, not just fat. I mean, if I lost all the weight today, I'm still 28 inches wide of the shoulder. Right.
Don't give the viewers. You're not huge.
No.
You're not.
But listen,
You're not like.
I'm no.
he's a big cuddly bear.
I'm yes, sure.
You're ample.
I don't.
But you're not grossly overweight.
Yes, I'm not grossly obese by any means. I'm
I just don't want anybody getting the wrong impression of our.
I don't care for
our
the
wonderful
purposes
round
here.
Andy.
The important portion is I am 28 inches wide of the shoulder.
So you got stuck in the door at Fred Meyer.
No, so I'm trying to just pick up new fucking bed sheets.
Okay.
Right? And I'm in this store, and what should be a walk-in, see what they've got, because I just need to match queen size bed.
You're doing
and
guy
the color
shopping.
that I want.
You're going there for one
Exactly.
thing. And
I'm
you're
there for one
done.
thing. I know where it is. I need to see what the selection is, and I need to grab one, and I need to check out, right? But the entire experience, it took longer for me to get to this, which this is not a big store, mind you. This is like
Standard department store.
standard departments, and even relatively small department store, really.
Are we not saying names of things?
It's a Ross, dress for less.
Okay, all
okay.
right,
yeah.
So I'm in Ross.
I was envisioning Target. So
no,
I
I'm
wanted to go
no,
to the same place
So even smaller,
because they're all the same.
even smaller. So it's a Ross. It's literally a clothing store, bedding, and some like miscellaneous household,
Like 5
wicker-
hats on a rack.
Knick-knack.
somewhere.
Yeah, if you want a wicker chair, you go to Ross, right? So
Discount shades.
Exactly. So it took me probably, I don't want to exaggerate here, but like at least 5 minutes to just make it to,
Make it to the bed
from the middle of the store to one side of it, right?
Oh, man.
Why?
Because of the people milling the fuck
Oh,
about.
you went at busy time?
No, it was like fucking 9:30 at night,
Oh.
That's millabout time at Ross.
I guess.
It's
so
on the flyer.
the most like, or the least aware,
Yeah, dude.
spatially aware people.
What's
of all
what's
time here.
what's it called when birds are trying to find a place to nest when the sun goes down?
Roosting.
Roosting? Yeah.
It's
Roosting, I think
where
it's
they're
roosting.
flying in like those patterns.
Oh no! I
okay.
don't know what that.
It's that for the homeless people at Ross.
No,
That's
they
what's
weren't
happening.
homeless people, man. These
Really?
are no, not homeless people.
They're
This
just
is
bargain
inside the store.
hunters and window
Oh.
shoppers.
Dude, Ross, for whatever reason, for selling budget clothing and bullshit, they have like 11 fucking. They have more security there than they will usually have checkers. Homeless people don't make it in.
Like an unnecessary amount of
A
security.
hugely unnecessary. They're the kinds of people that put the giant rods at the top of their shopping carts so you can't leave with a shopping cart.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So no, it's not homeless people.
It's just
it's
people,
it's extremely unaware people.
zombies.
Zombies.
All right.
I mean, it really is like the only differentiation between them and a zombie is the need for brains, right?
Right.
So anyways, I was a little bit frustrated because it took me about 15 minutes in this store, which that's not a lot of time, but it should have taken like 4.
Yeah.
Right.
At most.
Literally because I'm standing behind somebody that's walking. That's an exaggeration. You can't call this walking. It's not even a mosey, right?
Like a
This
shuffle.
people is these people are barely moving. I mean, snail's pace. Ugh, so frustrating. But just trying to get to the checkout took me a good 5 minutes back, right? So I was already a little bit frustrated because my entire trip out should have taken like maybe 20 minutes tops. So I had to go to another store, but all I needed was shampoo. I already know what I'm picking up because we're guy shopping, right? I need deodorant. I'm going to pick up the same deodorant that I always do, the same spot that I always do for the same price that I always get it for. I just need a few household items, right?
Yep.
Like I pull into the parking lot at a Fred Meyer and end up at a 3-way, intersection.
I thought you were
And-
just gonna stop you. Ended at a 3-way.
And ended in a 3-way in
Damn,
Fred Meyer
dude.
with a Karen and an
Turned
old
into a good story. That was
So-
worth the wait.
so, well, I want to talk a little bit about road rage because I'm trying to allow the people that are leaving the store. I'm stopping for them so they can cross.
walkers.
Like pedestrians.
The pedestrians.
Yeah.
I stop for them to cross. Well, some jackass behind me is honking his horn and eventually just gets to the point where he's laying his hand on it. Right? So it's a constant honk. Nobody seems upset about this. But immediately, my first reaction is just throw it in reverse, slam on the gas,
That was
and
my
wait
first
for the
thought when you
consequences
said it.
later.
Yeah.
It's like it'd be worth it. It would be worth it. Do you guys ever get like that at all?
Yes.
I almost threw a full bottle of like a body armor out my sunroof because this dude, he was doing 60 miles an hour in the passing lane. There's no one around us 4 miles. And I just come up on him and like I slow up. I'm expecting him just to move over so I can go about my merry. And so now it became a thing. It was me. It was him. And I had nothing to do that day. So we were swapping back and forth in the fast lane and the slow lane. Thank goodness there wasn't a state trooper or a cop around or something like that, because at one point I swear I was doing 45 on the freeway. Washer fluid dry, it's gone. And the only thing I had left to do was throw a bottle at him, but I just got off the freeway instead.
Yeah, lucky.
But
You got
no,
lucky.
you have to go through breathing exercises. It's a whole thing. Got very angry, very upset. But I feel like that was a 10. And like when I'm driving, most of the time I'm happy to get where I'm going at a decent time. And I like it never spikes above a 4 where I'm like, giving the middle finger to someone essentially, like not yelling at them, just like, here you go.
But the person honking, like laying down on their horn, right?
In a parking lot.
In a parking lot.
When someone honks at me, I'm immediately offended.
Yeah. So from their vantage point, they could see better the people that are coming out of the store in a healthy stream than I can, right? And once you open the floodgates, you kind of just have to wait for them to drain before you can go. This is just social norm, right? You just let the people cross. Don't be a fucking jackass. You're driving the 2-ton piece of steel. Don't plow into these people. Let them cross. Go about your merry way. that's socially what is acceptable, right?
Yep.
But this jackass just laying down on his horn. I don't understand that attitude. What am I supposed to do in this situation that's supposed to make you feel better?
Entirely different mentality.
Well, I guess he's upset, and he's like, you know what? I'm going to upset everyone else because I'm upset.
I don't get that.
Now,
Like-
assuming something like he didn't have a seizure or his pet crow was attacking his steering wheel, just a normal circumstance where he was just an asshole, right? It just requires a certain level of self-centeredness that I don't think we kind of experience in our daily lives.
Yeah, I guess, man.
Yeah.
I don't. How do you grow up to be that way? How do you get any level of success when you're that much of a prick?
I don't know. Can I ask a question here? What would you estimate the age of that person? Because I think that might explain a little bit, maybe.
So I couldn't get a clear view on this person at
Okay.
all. It was like it was dark. Couldn't see what they look like through my rear view.
Don't get me wrong. I know where you're going with this. I don't like stereotypes. But it is interesting to see the differences, especially in the customer service side of things, between the older generations and the younger ones.
Oh yeah.
Just the
Yeah.
way they interact with people that have to serve. It's almost fascinating.
So, as you people know, but you people out there don't know, I, for a brief period of time, worked as the spawn of Satan as a park enforcement officer.
Mm-hmm.
And it was always interesting to me whenever people would come into the office. So like
Now, what do you mean by park enforcement officer? 'Cause I've
parking
Parking,
enforcement.
okay.
Parking, like
Ticket writer.
Yeah, you park too long in a spot, bam, ticket time. No
Mhm.
permit in a lot, bam, ticket time. Yeah, it was a pretty cool job. They just didn't pay me enough to extort people like that. So, fuck, what was I saying? I just brain farted.
So many people go into your office.
Oh, so they go into the office, and it was always interesting to see how the people who were in the generation that are older than us are just fucking pricks every time. And then people who were like younger than me were always like really pleasant and sort of like, I know I messed up, blah, blah, blah. It was almost to a person that
Yeah.
split
Mhm.
between the older generation and the younger generation in terms of, I guess, the sense of entitlement. I guess that's what it is,
Yeah.
right?
Like, it has to be someone else's fault. It can't be their
it's
fault that they got
always
the
someone
ticket.
else's
It
fault.
has to be like, oh, you came by too fast, or I was only going to be here for a minute. Like it
I
matters.
went
The
in
rules are
for-
there.
Yeah.
You broke them, but you expect to be treated special for some reason.
Yeah.
The same kind of people that'll say like, "Don't be afraid of cops. You have no reason to be afraid of a cop because you're not breaking any laws, or,
Right.
If you're not doing anything wrong,
You got
But
nothing
of course
to hide. You got nothing to worry about.
yeah. But I'm gonna do
Okay.
things that are wrong and bitch about having to pay the consequences later, right?
Yep.
Yeah, it's the same person.
I was trying to think back when I worked in restaurants, how often things were returned to the kitchen, depending on how old the person was.
Yeah.
Like how many times, I'm trying to think about how many times I've sent something back to the kitchen. And it's like, unless there's like obvious like hair like on top
Or
of the
something
food,
you're allergic
or
Even
it's
if
raw.
there's fucking hair on top of it. I found
Yeah, if
fucking,
it's one hair.
Yeah, dude.
I found a hair on
might
my
be
food. You know what I
mine.
did?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I pulled it out and kept fucking eating because the
Mhm.
food was good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not gonna kill you.
Like, it might have been my hair. I don't know. Nobody knows.
Now
It's
I
fucking hair. It's everywhere.
I
We're
have
looking to get something free, man.
It wasn't like somebody shed on it.
right. I don't know. So hair didn't
Does hair
used to
creep you
bother
out?
me. No. No.
Uh,
And yes. So, so it didn't used to bother me. But do you guys remember?
The uvula incident.
Yes. So,
you got a hair wrapped around the old dangler.
yeah, girlfriend and I shared a bed for a long time, and she had long hair.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I woke up one morning and I had a really scratchy throat and couldn't stop coughing. And, it felt really itchy, like something was tickling my throat all goddamn day. Couldn't get rid of it. About 3 or 4 days later, my throat is just in extreme pain. Like I've been coughing. I mean, I have been coughing at this point quite a bit. Been trying to loosen this up, whatever it is, whatever's bothering my throat. One morning I wake up and I have a hair. Like I can see it, right? So I try to pull the hair. Well, at some point, maybe through snoring or whatever, over the course of the night, it came out of my mouth, and I go to pull it, and almost immediately just start vomiting.
This was in the middle of the night. At
This
point?
is like wake up time, probably a little
Okay.
bit earlier. I don't remember this
So
scenario.
you're
It's
like
10
half
years ago,
sleeping.
right?
You're like,
yeah,
I just gotta fucking get it.
totally half asleep. Like, no, well, I didn't know that it was tied around my uvula until
Yeah, like maybe
until I
it's a
tried
beard
pulling it.
hair or one of your
Whatever,
hairs or something in your mouth.
exactly.
You know, it happens.
I just saw something, like I just put my glasses on and I just saw a hair, and I'm like, where the hair? Well, I'm reaching for this hair. Eventually, I grab it and I tug on it and just start throwing up because I'm literally just tugging on my uvula. The other hair story, and the other reason that I don't like hair anymore, and the reason it creeps, I can still just pull hair from my food, but it's extra gross because it just reminds me of, like, especially if it's like baked in and I've got to kind of tug at it.
yeah,
It's just
that's
the
a
feeling
little
of a hair being tugged it like induces a little bit
That
of
is a
nausea
little
with me.
different.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's totally different. But the other one is I ended up getting one of her hairs wrapped around my eyeball.
Mm.
Yeah.
I remember you going to the doctor for that.
Yeah.
It was like stuck
I
in
feel
your
like that's an
eyelid or-
impressive accomplishment.
Yeah, so I
I
sleep
didn't-
rough, right?
Mhm.
I didn't know
And he fights his pillow.
that you could wrap something all the way around your
So
eyeball
it was
from
just like
being
looped
over.
all over my eyeball. Like you open up my
Just
eye and you could
stuck
just
in
see,
his
yeah,
eye
Oh, like on the
cavity.
like
surface
stuck in
of
my
it.
socket.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And I couldn't find a good end, and every time I tried to tug at it, like it would like pinch my eyeball, and it was fucking miserable.
And you couldn't
dude.
like tear it out or nothing.
No, so and the more I fucked around with it, the less of it I could see, and I'm like, I'm gonna lose this, or like I'm not gonna be able to see it anymore. So I'm just gonna go to the doctor
get
and
in
get
my
this thing
brain.
pulled. Yeah,
Was any of it like back
Hairbrained.
behind?
yeah. That's
We
where
think
the
about
bulk
like
of
how
it was.
contacts can slip.
Yeah, that's a
Around.
thing.
Yeah.
Essentially.
Contacts are terrifying. If
glad
I
it's never
ever,
happened
if
to
my
me.
vision
Mhm.
ever gets bad enough where I need glasses, it's going to be glasses and not contacts. Also, I don't want to touch my eyeball all the time. That
Yeah.
seems
I get
pretty
you.
weird.
Cool.
I'm right there with you, man. The contacts reasonably are totally fine, but just the concept of them
I've
just
still been
gives me the
thinking about
heebie-jeebies.
contacts.
I don't like the idea of a laser either. That's
No,
I mean,
that's what I'm doing. I'm getting lasers
Yeah.
in my eyes.
dude.
LASIK's
On the
pretty
lasers,
safe.
it says not to shine it in your eye.
Mhm.
On like every laser I've ever seen,
This
but
is
those
this is a
aren't
laser
eye
that's meant
lasers.
to
They're
be shined in your eye.
They're eye lasers.
Oh, and when I say lasers, I mean I'm
Feel like
getting
that's a
lasers to
conspiracy
shoot
theory.
out of my eyes.
Ah, yeah, it's a risky
oh.
procedure, but it's totally
Yeah.
worth it.
Groundbreaking work is
Yeah,
being done
for
in
sure.
that field.
I've thought about getting contacts recently, but as you guys know, where the arms of my glasses are, it's permanently recessed in my head now.
Yeah, he's been wearing glasses
Yeah.
so long.
I
Got a
grew
little
into
divot.
an older pair of glasses, right? And I'll show you.
like
guys
a
real
chain
quick.
wrapped
Get these
around a
things on.
tree. You guys.
You can
Oh,
see right here.
shit.
Yeah, there I have
Yeah.
permanent indents in my head where my glasses sit.
Is that just on like the fleshy outer part? Like
I mean
the-
that can be followed all the way around my ear,
Do you think it would smooth out over time?
probably.
Yeah. Okay.
You
So,
get a
like,
sick
maybe.
tribal tattoo on it.
I don't think glasses would be strong enough to like get to the skull or nothing.
Probably not, but at the same time, I've been wearing I'm really bad. So I'm really bad about getting my teeth done. And I'm really
Oh,
bad about
yeah.
getting my vision checked. So these pair of glasses are still the pair of glasses that I've owned the least amount of time. I've been wearing for 7.5 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like every like 2 years or something like that.
In
or-
your in your later 20s and 30s, you can go like 3-4 years
Okay.
without getting your prescription checked, but you are supposed to do it pretty regularly.
Like when you know, like they say, like what is it, 50 or is it 40 where you get the up the prostate?
You know-
yeah, the prostate exam. Well, like when should you start going and getting your vision checked? I mean, like second puberty hits and like it hits you hard.
Second
So-
puberty.
Yeah. Oh, second puberty. That's lovely.
It's called
Um,
puberty.
You mean like midlife crisis?
No,
Did you say
second
puberty?
I said tuberty
Puberty.
because it's second puberty.
I thought you said
Yeah,
puberty.
no,
like,
second puberty.
like
Like,
hubris.
when after you hit
Hubris.
30 and like so those all those lovely hormones that you've like that spiked when you went through puberty, and then you've just kind of like learned how to ride, and you've been having this lovely, well, we're coming down now.
We're back, bitches.
Yeah, it's so like second puberty, instead of hair growing like, you know, in your pits and groin, now it like disappears from your head and grows on your back for some reason.
Oh, I've had that since I was like 16.
Yeah, well, I mean,
You're a freak.
Yeah.
early bloomer for the second puberty.
Yeah.
But like, so when you like hearing and vision, these are like,
You know what a
Yeah.
doctor's going to tell you? Any doctor for anything, get a yearly checkup for
Yeah.
of
things.
course.
You know, because I mean, reasonable. Just
Oh yeah.
go
Well,
do
I
it.
mean,
for all the free. You know, it's totally free. You just go to the doctor and they'll make
Yeah.
sure everything's good.
okay, yeah. That's I would love to.
I know.
but I'm not Canadian, so
That being said, I haven't been to a dentist since I was still going to a pediatric dentist.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
no, me too. The last
same.
dentist I went to was like a free clinic that was being held,
Mhm.
and I went in and got my teeth all cleaned.
That being said, I do
So
actually
expensive.
have my a dental appointment coming up, and I am
Ooh.
very anxious about it.
Congratulations.
Oh no,
Anxious.
like very anxious. The last real panic attack I had in a dental office. I went in, I was making my appointment, and then I was like, because I had a lot of dental work done in my teen years, as you guys will remember.
Mhm.
And it just like I have like flashbacks of pain, like keys turning like to widen my teeth, rubber bands snapping in my mouth,
Eesh.
and like the only thing that scares me more than a dentist is a clown. So I just was like, no, thank you.
Okay, but listen, despite your PTSD, nothing bad is the only bad part that's going to happen is the bill. It's the only thing you should be anxious about. The work is going to be fine. You can deal with pain.
Yeah.
You've dealt
No,
with some pain.
No, yeah, I have. It's just, I guess it's just the anxiety of it,
Yeah.
because like I don't generally have those kind of feelings.
Yeah.
I mean, sure, everybody, I get nervous or scared or every once in a while, but like I feel like that's a more, I don't know, a situational thing that I can gain control over. Like this I could not get control over until I left the building. Then I felt better.
It's a vulnerable area, man. You got your mouth open. They're putting their hands in there.
Yeah, I just kind of want to bite them.
God knows what like tattoos are leaving on your gums.
Yeah, well,
Have you looked? Is there like a tiny dick inside your cheek?
maybe.
No?
I mean,
dentist messing with you.
like what was Earl was here or whatever, like from Shawshank when that guy got out. Just carve it right in,
Yeah.
Brooks was here.
There you go.
Well, are you guys ready to take a break?
Yeah.
No, I mean, I could do with a little break, I suppose.
Now
Yeah,
a
let's-
word from our sponsors.
No, now a word from me. Hey everybody, I just wanted to take a moment to thank you again for listening in, and just to let you know that you can follow us now on Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. And of course, we're always going to be available on your favorite directories like iTunes, Apple Podcasts, TuneIn, Stitcher, Google Play, Spotify, and YouTube. You can find us on Twitter at Balcony Time PC. You can follow us on YouTube at BT Podcast. You can also go to our Instagram, that's Balcony Time Podcast. And as always, you can go to btpodcast.com to find all of this information. Again, we want to thank you. Send us an email, leave us a comment, leave us a review. We appreciate it all. And now back to the Balcony Time Podcast.
So I finally got around to watching Blade Runner 2049 the other night. So
Yay.
half of us have seen that, right?
Yeah.
It's a pretty cool movie.
You and I,
You and I have seen it.
we're the cool people.
It's
Yeah.
a great movie.
I still haven't seen it.
It's got a really cool style to it. Yeah, I'm excited for that guy to make the Dune movie. I know I keep bringing up Dune,
That guy.
but I'm a fanboy. Denis Villeneuve.
Something like that.
Denis Villeneuve.
Dally?
It's
Danny
Denny.
Villeneuve?
It's Denny.
Denny.
He's French.
Okay.
I think he's or Canadian or
Denny.
something.
Well, what else
Somewhere
has he
they
done?
speak French. Oh, I don't really know, but he's
I was
won some
looking this up
awards
earlier. I
that's for
think
sure.
he was. No, that was the
Tango.
person who was writing it.
Tango, look this up. Denis. Denny. I'm not making fun of his name. That's his name.
Yeah,
Denis
glad you saw it.
Villeneuve. That was making
that's
fun
it.
of his
So
name.
terrified. Sequel.
Yeah,
is
that
going to
guy.
be
French
bad.
Canadian. He's Canadian.
Yeah. Yeah. So Blade Runner Revival. Or no, Arrival.
Arrival.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
That
I
was a
loved
really good
Arrival.
movie.
I heard it
Yeah.
was good. I want to watch it.
You haven't seen Arrival?
No.
I'm
Okay.
surprised, dude, because that movie is literally about language.
Oh,
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
Like 100%.
All right, I'm
Like-
gonna watch that.
nerd.
Yeah, it's a movie that is about language presented by aliens.
Okay.
So that's right up your alley, dude. It's,
Yeah, you're gonna
it's
you're gonna love it.
fantastic.
Well, I'm gonna
I'm
watch a
surprised you haven't
couple
seen
more
it.
of his movies just to sort of.
So he's gonna be
I'm
doing
on his train right now.
a Dune movie and a Dune TV series.
Yeah, they just pushed the date.
Yeah,
back a
that
month.
the production company has both the movie and the TV rights.
Yeah,
for
Dune
it.
the Sisterhood is supposed to
Legendary,
be
I
about
think it
the
is.
like the Benny Gesserit. I think it's gonna be on like HBO or Netflix or something.
Oh, really? So
Yeah.
not sci-fi.
I don't know where it's gonna be,
Like-
but I thought it was one of the subscription.
I hope
Don't get me
so.
wrong, Sci-Fi has really come forward and done some great things and was an awesome. But like, why would you turn down Netflix's budget
No, yeah,
or HBO's budget? I mean,
absolutely. And
I
the
don't think-
freedom.
I don't think Denis
Right.
Villeneuve does sci-fi projects. Like I think he's like past that point.
what are you
Well,
talking
we've
about?
got his-
Arrival was on there.
Really?
Yeah.
That was a
Yeah,
sci-fi
that's-
original
that was-
movie?
Oh,
We just
sorry.
moved the genre.
Sci-fi.
Not,
yeah.
yeah.
Oh.
We thought you meant just general sci-fi.
Oh,
Yeah.
No, Dune the
Sci-fi.
Sisterhood is a sci-fi
Yeah.
thing. Yeah, it's related.
It is science fiction.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes.
It's about the witches. The magic, the space witches.
I don't remember enough about Dune, man. I remember.
So there's the Bene Gesserit. They're like this matriarchal order that try to push particular breeding lines, like particular genetic lines. And their whole shtick is they have like superpowers because they have supreme control over their bodies and mind, like to
Okay.
the cellular level.
Well, don't they? They have that voice
The
that
voice.
that they
Yeah,
speak in
the
that convince.
voice.
It's like something along the lines of a Jedi mind trick. I
It's
believe.
pretty much a Jedi mind trick. Yeah.
Okay.
Or it's like, yeah.
But it's rooted in, instead of like necessarily influencing somebody's like a weak-willed person, it's based more on
The force
having-
of their personality.
having registered the person and recognizing like what that person values and what is important to that person, and matching your harmonics in what you project to produce a sound that they will obey.
So
Gotcha.
it's figuring out the brown note.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
For
Just
that
goes to
particular
show
person.
Yeah.
words
Yeah.
are weapons.
Yeah,
Mhm.
because they're trained in like picking up all the subtle cues that a person puts out. you
Right.
know?
Which I mean, yeah, that's how social engineering works in
Yeah.
a less mystical state.
But,
Less brown note.
Yeah,
then-
less brown note.
but no, I remember it from like from the old movie, which I mean,
That was a piece
hard,
of shit movie.
hard to watch. But like they had this full like they didn't break sequence or just this full of their voice where it felt very much Jedi mind trick rather than it's
Little
just,
on the nose.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's just like everyone's weak-willed compared to them,
Gotcha.
Yeah.
rather than I don't know. I mean, it's been a long time since I've read the book, and I've only ever read the first one. I think you've read. There's like 7, 8 books.
I don't know.
There's a
I've
lot
only
of
read
books.
Dune.
Oh, okay.
I just keep reading that one over and over because I like it.
Well, there's like
Well-
maybe read the next one.
I
Are you scared?
not
Scared
really.
not
Well,
to
like
it.
I think his son, Frank Herbert, right?
Yeah.
Frank
Yeah,
Herbert,
Frank
his
Herbert's
son,
Dune.
yeah,
Brian Herbert.
or what? I don't know what his son's name is, but
I think
he's
it's
taking over.
Brian.
But he's
Denis
taking over
Herbert.
writing it, right? I mean,
Yeah, I know he basically signs off on all the like the product rights and stuff that come out.
I don't know. Yeah,
But I don't
try and
follow
look that up.
series usually. I like standalone stories, like self-contained stories.
well, I don't feel like it is a self-contained story, right? I mean,
Dune.
I guess if you just leave it as it is, but that family, like Paul Atreides, like takes over Arrakis. That planet's still
Yeah, no,
rolling around,
he like takes over the fucking universe from
right?
here.
I mean, like Space Emperor, like it's the
Yeah.
spice. Whoever controls the spice still controls the universe. Is that
Right.
like? I mean, dude, if you're getting me hyped, I need to know more. You need to.
See, I like that story. I like the story of Paul and his mom on the run,
Well, like,
and him.
well, I feel like the Harkonnens are gonna like. They're not just gonna
Furthermore, I hate the way they pronounce it in that old movie.
Harkonnens. Or
That's how I pronounce it.
Harkonnens.
But in that old movie, they pronounce it Harkonnens.
I don't know. I like Harkonnens.
I like Harkonnen.
Well,
Putting the stress on the penultimate syllable is pretty common, so
What do
that's
you-
why they do that.
what do you prefer, Macedonian or Macedonian?
Macedonian.
I also prefer Macedonian, but
Do the Greeks use the soft C?
no, it's a Macedonian for them, I believe.
Like almost
it Greek?
like the nut.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah. Well, like
yeah.
I mean, they were weird Greek, like
Yeah, they're
strange,
like-
wild Greeks, but
Yeah.
Like
Wild
Persian
Greeks.
Greeks.
hardly Greek at all. Like according to the Athenians, you know.
Herbert wrote 5 sequels to Dune.
That's 6.
Yes. A series of follow-ups including prequels and sequels that were co-written by Kevin J. Anderson and the author's son, Brian Herbert, starting in 1999.
10 points to Slytherin for knowing the name was Brian.
Oh yeah. I've seen that.
Since 2009, the names of planets from the Dune novels have been adopted for the real-life nomenclature of planes and other features on Saturn's moon Titan.
Interesting.
That's
Yeah,
good. That's
pretty
fun.
neat.
I mean, speaking of like Titan, that's just a neat place in general.
It's terrifying.
Neat, terrifying.
These things
We're still
down
talking
there.
about the moon.
Yeah, like methane.
real life.
'Cause in
Okay.
the real life
All right,
Titan,
yeah.
methane is in a liquid state. There, I was watching like they have a very similar weather pattern, like our water pattern, except it's all methane.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, because it's so cold that methane's in a
Titan.
liquid.
So they
state.
have
a moon.
they
They
have
have
like
liquid
lakes,
and
vapor.
oceans of methane. Like
Okay.
think about our H2O
Yeah,
cycle,
yeah,
our
yeah,
weather
yeah.
cycle. It's almost identical,
That
but
is
with
fun.
methane.
Liquid methane. Titan is a moon of
Saturn?
Saturn or Jupiter. They have
What?
all the moons.
They have all the moons.
They're greedy as shit.
They are.
And then was it Europa that's ice, but then a few miles down, there's probably an ocean underneath it? That's where Cthulhu
Yeah.
is.
Well, yeah.
Don't go down there.
Or do.
I mean, might be fun.
Go ice fishing.
And then there's that Darth
I've
Vader
heard of that.
planet, that Io or
Darth Vader planet?
yeah, like where he gets pushed into the lava. Io, like it's that
Mustafar?
the Mustafar
Oh.
moon on
Yeah.
Jupiter. I think it's Io, the
Yeah.
volcanic one. Like
I thought Io was named after a Greek or Roman thing.
probably. I mean, like a lot of them are.
The Roman god of lava.
Io. Speaking of oceans and lakes, something that I wanted to nerd out about for a minute. With the ever-present and wonderful climate change, a lot of permafrost is melting. Now, by a lot, I mean a lot. I was reading about some places in Alaska and Siberia and some of the interesting things that are being uncovered. It's mostly bad, but good things also. Reading about how they are finding mammoths, sometimes whole, in the Siberian wastes as permafrost is uncovered. That a lot of the farmers and whatnot, their fields are getting flooded. They have some weird word for it, but there's essentially these blisters of liquid that come up underground and just pockmark the plains, and they can't farm anymore. So they're out hunting these mammoths because you can sell the ivory for up to $16,000 a tusk, which feeds one of their families. It keeps them running for about a year. And the article I read had this wolf head, and it was in permafrost, and the back of the head looked almost identical to petrified wood. It was all thick and gnarled. And as you got closer to the snout, it was more and more wolf-like, to the point where pretty much the whole mouth looked exactly like a wolf's mouth, all snarling, but it was 32,000 years old. It was pretty crazy to see. But besides uncovering mammoths and all that stuff and bad things, because permafrost melting is never good, these people are losing their homes and their towns, there is a lot of strange micro life being uncovered. They found nematodes, little worms up to a 0.5 millimeter long that, yeah, they got a digestive tract and a
parasite
brain.
thing, right?
Well, they're a little multicellular organism.
Okay.
It's a type of worm. And they have, like I said, a brain, a digestive system. But these things were like 46,000 years old, meaning that they were born and hatched when Neanderthals were walking the earth. And then they would go into stasis when the glacier came over and essentially trapped them in these highly salinity little lakes. And I was thinking, we know there's water on Mars, right?
Mm-hmm.
We have the whole idea of panspermia, that life can be seeded from one place to another by a stray collision sending matter from a planet with life to another. And I don't think it's that far-fetched to, at the very least, be not surprised when we find cellular life way down underneath the ice on Mars. You know, if it had evolved there at all or shown up at all, if life can survive for 50,000 years, why can't it survive for a few billion? Right?
Yeah, I mean,
It's really not a
There's
stretch
a little bit of a difference there.
in
Well,
time gap, but what life do we have now that can live that long not in stasis?
Sure.
Not even
Jellyfish.
close. Well, that's
Maybe.
cheating.
That is
Not,
cheating.
you know.
Jellyfish are so fucking fascinating.
Wait, jellyfish
are.
can live that long?
Oh yeah, no,
Yeah.
like they like revert down to like a goo state, and then just like reform.
Yeah.
Like jellyfish are essentially immortal.
The thing to know about jellyfish is a jellyfish is not a creature.
Right.
It is a collection of different organisms, essentially in a symbiosis.
I could keep my social media handle. I'd be down for it.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, some, I don't know
We
if all
are
jellyfish, but some,
Jellyfish.
essentially their regenerative abilities, and because they're different, technically different creatures, they can just keep going.
Interesting.
Yeah, pretty nuts. So, if all the permafrost melts, not to mention all the methane and carbon that's being released,
Yeah, adding to
along
the
with
greenhouse effect, right? I mean,
Mhm.
it's a compounding issue, right? Like, it just gets worse as it gets worse because it's getting worse.
I wouldn't be surprised. I have no idea if it would affect humans, but those nematodes and single and multi-celled life down there, they got to have viruses. that have been
Say,
competing
what
with
about
them.
diseases that
Mhm.
we
Yeah.
haven't, as a modern or even a ancient species, seen? Since you said it's as old as Neanderthals walking around.
Well, the question is, if we had faced these viruses and bacteria, whatever, and we beat them, it gets added to your DNA how to kill this thing. So
You freeze
might
them.
still
That's
have
why we
it.
put them there to begin with.
Yeah.
50,000 years ago.
Thousands of years ago.
Well, I mean, if it's been living this long, what's to say it can't adapt? I mean, that's the scariest thing about our diseases now, our current ones, is that
Oh,
they
yeah,
adapt
like
to what
MRSA
we
and the
to what we
resistant
do,
ones.
right? Yeah, drug resistant. So what's to say that this it doesn't follow old paths that aren't protected anymore? Or I mean, like, not to sound like it's an army, and I don't know, but I mean, I think that's a scary thing. Like the
I don't know enough to say whether
it
they
could-
could
it could
possibly
be
affect
a scary
humans
thing.
because
Yeah.
they've been living down there with these very specific things that they attack, so they might only be able to affect those. But speaking of drug-resistant things, something that bothers me greatly is the big old flashy stickers on hand sanitizer that says it kills 99.99% of germs.
Something like that,
Right? It's like all you're doing is providing free real estate for those 0.001% of things that then get to survive
Yeah.
and they become resistant.
It just
I want
spread
to
like
know
crazy.
would it be possible to make hand sanitizer that kills like 75% of germs? Because I'd buy it.
Just
Like,
kill the
that's
most
better than
dangerous.
nothing.
Yeah.
Well, you can't really just target the most dangerous,
Why
but you
not?
can at least
It's
leave a
not
little
AI,
competition.
not AI hands.
Well, we need our nano
why not?
robots.
Yeah.
and
Nano-
little
nano
Somebody
squeeze
get
tubes.
on
sanitizers.
it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, get on it, Andrew. What are you doing tomorrow?
Not building nanotechnology. I'm fucking. You know, it's been so hot. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna not wear clothes all day and
There you
read.
go.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's it. I'm gonna cook and read all day long.
I-
You might want to
uh,
put some clothes on when you cook.
I regularly
I'll just
don't
throw an
wear
apron
pants.
on, dude.
Okay, an apron works.
Yeah, just throw an apron on.
I
Oh
reg-
yeah, no.
I-
If I got nowhere to go, no clothes are going on.
Oh, dude, I don't put clothes on until I have somewhere to go.
Yep.
And if if I've got to put some clothes on so I can walk around the house for a minute, they come right back off as soon as I get back
Yeah.
to the safety of my room.
Do you have like a little catch on your door frames when you walk through? It just pulls
like a
them
little
off?
pants hanger.
No, motherfucker, I just throw that shit on the ground.
Mm. So what's your underwear or nude radius? Like for most people, it's you know what I'm talking about. Like how I've gone to get my mail in my underwear.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
No,
You
I'll
know
go
what I
outside
mean?
in the underwear.
Okay.
Yeah, I've grabbed UPS when they knock on the door and
Mhm.
just my underwear. Yeah.
I'll go out looking for the cat in my underwear.
You pay the delivery person in your underwear.
Sure.
Um,
I do
That's
that.
a little
Yeah.
rude.
Yeah.
Like a
I'm at
tiny
home.
bit.
Yeah,
You
no,
probably
like
don't want to see
yeah.
that.
I'm not hanging brain.
yeah.
I also wear boxers.
You
Is-
were a
does
delivery
that, does
person at one point. Did
I
it
wouldn't have
bother
minded
you?
somebody in boxers. No, I wouldn't
Okay.
give a shit.
Yeah, I guess I wouldn't care if somebody opened up.
I feel
the
like
door
it depends on how
and-
much you tip, and not the tip, but
Just the-
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, I'm not flashing them anything. I'm wearing a pair of boxer shorts. They are as good as shorts. I mean, they have a flap in the front. I could potentially, fall out.
well, I mean,
but-
shift that to the
shift that
side.
exactly.
You
Like
close the
yeah.
barn door. You're not letting the horse out.
Right.
I can't think of a time last that I went outside in my underwear, but if I'm out of the shower, I need to go outside. I'll go out there in a towel, no problem.
Well, do you wear boxer briefs?
Yeah.
Yeah, you wear boxer briefs. That's more underwear than just boxers.
Oh yeah, I don't wear boxers.
Yeah, I wear
boxers.
boxers.
They ride immediately and just
Yeah.
choke on my things.
I made the switch to boxer briefs a little while ago.
I
was
did
pretty happy
too.
with
I
that.
didn't find any real difference in comfort or whatever.
It's just boxers for me. They would ride as like multiple times a day.
Mm.
They just get higher and higher until they're bunched up.
Yeah.
in
Well,
my-
I myself like a boxer brief. I equate it to like oranges in the back seat of your car. So, like, okay, think
Go on.
about it. Think about it. So you got some oranges in the back seat of your car. If you're wearing a boxer brief, I mean, maybe that bag's just, it's tied up. It's sitting there. It's ready to go. It's
like
contained.
oranges in like a net.
Yeah, like in a net. It's
Yeah,
sitting
yeah.
there. It's ready to go. Like boxers, I feel like that netting is open now.
My
It's like a
oranges
brown
need
paper
And
bag.
all
going
the room
commando,
of the back of the car.
that's your oranges are smacking door handles and it's
Okay, so
Dude,
for
I've got big
scale,
oranges. they don't go
so
anywhere.
grapefruits. They're
Really.
just
I
sitting
mean,
He's got durians.
somewhere around there, yeah.
there. What?
He's got durians.
What are
you-
those?
The big old stinky,
The big old
spiky
stinky fruits. Are you calling my balls stinky?
Jackfruits?
It's spiky, bigger.
Oh my god.
So let's go through the scale. So if no underwear is just
Jackfruits with
loose
elephantitis.
oranges, then the next in
bouncing
line
around.
would be boxers, which is just like in a brown paper bag.
Yeah,
if
just
that
yeah.
bag falls over, you're done.
Yeah.
And then we've got the regular netting for boxer briefs, and then whitey tighties are what, like a safe?
No, like you duct taped that bag to the seat.
No, you shrink
Yeah,
wrapped
like
it.
and then you gotta like peel it off, and it's gonna be
He's
a
got a
whole
couple
thing.
oranges
a little
duct
bit of
taped to the
orange
back
with
seat.
it.
So is a Speedo just like one orange inside a water balloon?
Well, if we're talking speedos, I feel like we have to switch to bananas.
Oh,
Oh yeah,
that's
Mhm.
true.
fair.
Well, also speedos are outerwear.
I mean,
that's
you-
a different category.
well,
They're
no,
a panoramic banana hammock.
Yeah,
panoramic
then we're
banana
just talking.
hammock,
So we're talking, thongs or banana hammocks.
Yeah.
which I would not pay the delivery person in.
I would not either.
So you wouldn't pay the delivery person in whitey tighties then?
Oh, I wouldn't wear whitey tighties. I
No,
feel,
but if you did, you
no,
wouldn't.
that's like I feel like
That's like similar.
Yeah,
Well,
that
I
feels
don't-
too
Speedo.
personal.
I don't pay the delivery person in my underwear anyway. I will put my pants on for that.
Yeah, I have to say that I don't do that. I have done that. So it's one of those things where like the DoorDash app doesn't tell me that they're
I
here.
will, however, sometimes comment, I had to put pants on for this.
Just to let them know.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. You've greatly inconvenienced me by bringing me the thing that I ordered from you, jackass. What
Oh,
is
no.
that? Yeah,
I
you're
even
a dick.
knew roughly what time you'd be here.
Well,
Dread it. Run from it. It still
Well,
comes all the
damn.
same.
So you know what the alternative is, right? Having to leave your house.
yeah. Oh, which is way worse.
Way worse.
I'd rather put pants
Yeah.
on all day and off if
Right.
all day long if I had to.
Suddenly you've
not
got a
leave
sweaty
my house.
undercarriage and you're eating somewhere.
Well, with it being summer out, I feel like the undercarriage is always sweaty
well.
these days.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was really hot today, and I was
Yeah.
getting a little swampy.
99
you know.
degrees Fahrenheit.
I was thinking
I don't think anybody was
one
confused.
day.
I was.
Yeah.
Nobody was thinking it's 99 degrees Celsius where you live.
Because-
That's
We've been
crazy.
talking about other planets, so gotta
It was like
specify.
one day
That's
long
fair.
ago, everybody was like walking around on a day like this naked. I bet that feels so good.
no.
I
Dude,
disagree.
I bet
Back-
it felt awesome.
But when they did that, they didn't have sunblock. They hid.
So what?
It was a
I have a sunburn on my neck right now, and it's awful. I can't. I do not want to expose the general and two colonels to the
Star
death rays.
damage.
Yeah, star damage. No,
But it's free of the swamp.
is it though?
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
You just
Do
evaporate
you,
away.
would you trade a swamp for Badlands?
Yeah.
Because it's gonna get craggy down there when that peel starts happening.
You can always find shade.
Dude, imagine the the real deep peel
You're
where
gonna
like
make
the
taint jerky.
the
That's
spots
what
on your
you're making taint jerky.
Well, then you can sell it.
No.
Like that
Oh,
gamer
what?
water.
Oh, the
What's
gamer
gamer-
girl
Who
water?
wants? Who wants?
Who
hey,
wants gamer
who
boy
wa-
taint jerky?
Who wants taint jerky?
I don't know.
$5 a
Is
pound.
it free range,
A
non-GMO?
pound? How much taint do you have?
Enough to go around?
Apparently.
I'm all taint, baby. That's like a Ken doll down there. Check it.
Oh my.
It's like
Oh
a
my
weird
God.
turn.
Yeah, I did. I
Yeah.
apologize for that. I feel like
It's
that
fine.
was my fault.
No, that was great. I love the oranges in the back seat analogy.
Yeah,
That's-
well, no, like that's something I don't know. Like a lot of times these weird thoughts crop up. Like weird analogies like that. It's like when you're throwing a stick for a dog, is he thinking like because you're like, oh, he brought a bat, he's good at fetch. Is the dog thinking, is he good at throw? Like the oranges in the back seat is like. I mean, I feel like it's that in that same vein of.
Well, you'd have to ask the question first. Which animals have what's the word for it? The ability to understand the difference between them and other
It's
things.
called
Walrus.
Smart Brain.
Smart
brain.
Dolphins.
Yes. Dolphins are able to tell that I am a me and they are them, whereas other animals, it never occurs to them.
like a self recognition. You recognize yourself as a.
for it.
In
The toddlers get it at a certain point. That's why you
Yeah.
play peekaboo
Yeah.
with them
Mhm.
and stuff.
I don't know
like
why
an
I can-
object permanence,
Yeah.
But
not that.
I don't know why I can't think of it, but I
I
can
imagine the
think of
dog's mostly like, he's going to throw it, he's going to throw it, he's going to throw it. You threw it, go get it. And the bringing it back thing, that's where I don't know if I could.
it. Well, he
empathize with a
understands that
dog.
when he brings it back, or when he brought it back that first time, he got to chase it again.
It's just all Pavlov
I think so.
response.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, since we're talking about dogs, I also think it's great because I don't know. I think I heard this as a child that dogs have no sense of time. So, like, I feel like that's why dogs are always excited to see you. It's like,
Well,
I
that's-
haven't seen you in years.
That's
Oh
because
my
they
God.
can't read numbers, so they can't look at a clock. So how would they be able to have a sense of time?
Well, are you saying that blind people can't read braille clocks?
Well,
Well, I feel like they're actually getting rid of analog clocks because kids these days can't read them anyway.
No.
Is that a thing I heard? Is that real? Is that
No.
fake? Is it fake? Fake news?
blind people can have audio clocks.
I
A dog person cannot speak English.
I feel like a dog could have an audio clock.
But you
It's
can't
now
bark
Woofa
numbers.
clock.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're going to get rid of analog clocks. There is no like real.
Well, I feel like that
Use
was the
for
thing.
them.
Like, do you remember like being kids in school and learning how like
Yeah, there was the
this
little-
is 2:00 with
the
the
little
yeah? I
toy
feel like
clock
that's what
thing.
they're ditching in schools.
I also don't feel it's a stretch that if you didn't learn how a clock works when you were young, that you could figure that shit out real quick when you're an adult.
I don't know, dude.
At the end of the day, analog clocks, I think they're going to be like handwritten letters. They're still going to happen.
Cursive.
Well, cursive's going to disappear.
I fucking hope so.
I
I hate cursive.
I write in cursive.
You're a prick. Fuck you.
I like it.
Dude, I fucking hate cursive.
I like it.
the
Cursive
only
is just
thing
for
I can
lazy
write in
people.
cursive is my name.
I can write.
confidently.
I can write just fine
Really?
in cursive. I hate G's because G's are like capital
I'm
G
really
is
bad
fucking
at cursive.
stupid.
I was
in cursive.
left-handed. They
You're
never
really
showed me.
bad at handwriting.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, I'm also left-handed, which is I just want to say weird that it's 50% of the people here, but
Yeah, that's like 5 times normal.
yeah, it
Yeah.
is. But being left-handed, it was like I don't know. I just forced myself to learn how to use right-handed scissors uncomfortably, but
oh my
like
God, that hurts so much.
that's why to this day I use a top-folding notebook because otherwise I just crush the
rings.
the rings with
Mhm.
my Shrek hands.
Yeah. Imagine you having to write in a spiral notebook. You have to put your hand on the fucking spirals.
Nope.
Yeah, it's the worst thing ever.
Yeah,
I just
would
want to imagine
take
it.
my notebooks and
I
I'd
live
flip
better.
them upside down. I would when I was in school,
Oh yeah.
and so the spirals would be on the right side. The margins would be all weird in the
Yeah.
lined paper, but fuck it.
I tried that. It bothered me too much. I
With the
kind of
weird
like
margins.
yeah. I kind
Mhm.
of like things to be just so sometimes.
Yeah.
Like with weird things.
Yeah.
Like smoking the first cigarette out of my pack or my paper being turned the right side up. It's a weird thing to want, but I do.
I don't think it's that weird because I do the same thing and I'm not weird. Fuck you.
That's fair. Well, you know, I mean, maybe later.
It's Sunday night and they feel
Feeling-
alright.
Feels right.
So I'm looking at an article here. Do dogs have an awareness of self? Someone's asked this question before. Surprise, surprise. The standard go-to is the mirror test. Let's see here: dolphins, great apes, rhesus macaws, orcas, so on and so forth.
Racist macaws.
Rhesus macaws. The normal ones, they don't know what they are.
Yeah, makes
Oh,
sense.
okay.
Specifically rhesus.
Yeah, well, I mean-
rhesus macaws, the monkeys.
Oh, Reese's Monkeys.
Yeah,
Not the peanut butter cups.
I mean they might. Have you ever put one in front of a mirror?
They don't make it that long with me around.
Racist peanut butter cups.
Yeah.
Before we lose this topic,
Sorry.
no worries.
Go ahead.
They, for example, take a child. They put a dot on their face or arm or other body area when they're asleep, and then when the child wakes, they put them in front of a mirror. If the child notices the mark and touches it, it's considered to have passed the mirror test because it's seeing it in the mirror and it's touching its own arm, right? They did this back in the 1970s when all this stuff was done. Gorillas didn't pass the mirror test, it looks like, because they didn't pay attention to marks on their body, but they did notice that gorillas had noticed the marks and made attempts to remove them once they found a private place away from other gorillas. And from what I'm gathering, dogs might do the same thing. So are dogs self-aware? Yeah, I don't know. I'd have to read more into it. But dogs also see, quote unquote, with their nose. So it may be that they're self-aware, but seeing a visual mark on themselves isn't that important to them because it's not like a smell. So I don't know.
I'm constantly thankful I don't smell have the ability to smell like a dog.
Oh yeah, no, that would be miserable, dude.
Your guys' places would be so much cleaner.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Because you'd smell, you're like, oh God.
What is that?
Yeah.
Well, so there are people out there that have like
Strong senses of smell.
very strong. Like there's a small percentage of the population that smells like a dog. Probably not as sensitive, but
Is there really?
yes.
Well, I mean, is there like a scale where you can measure how strong your sense of smell is? Is there like for 20/20 vision, you have like 20/20 smell?
Like
here?
an
Yeah, I'm
increasingly
sure.
weaker smell
Yeah.
that you have to identify?
But
That'd be
what
interesting.
what these people say, these super smellers, I'll look it up eventually. These people are saying they can smell things like
I
other
prefer
people's-
sniffer sleuths.
well, not just other people's BO, which they say is just ever present. Like everybody has a very human smell to them, and usually their own, but they can smell people's butts.
Except for the
People
ones
what they're saying.
Oh my.
Except for the ones that smell like dogs. They smell like dogs.
Well, they smell like dogs, but they can still smell their butts.
I know they're super tasters. I imagine that could very well have something to do with your ability to smell. But I don't know if the super tasters, if that's all taste bud stuff or not.
What does it mean when you constantly smell exhaust fumes? To open up the garage door.
That woman looks very upset. She's so close to that flower.
Yeah.
It's like, this flower smells like a fart, and I thought it was going to smell pretty.
Without reading whole fuckload, this is this is an
The
article
pictures
for it.
in this article are funny. There's the guy taking the bite out of the lime.
I
well,
want you
the
to know
science
that
behind
the
having
name
a
of this
super sense of
news
smell.
site.
I mean, it's a good start.
If I didn't know any better, you scroll up to the top. The
Well, I
name
mean,
of this
that-
news site is Squiggle Helix News.
That
Oh.
is ABC.
See, that is not the letters ABC.
Fucking cursive.
Well, then,
Writing with two pens at once.
So, I think it was last week, we talked about that. I said that there was a service that will make like automated video for you based on an algorithm.
With the text.
Yeah.
Seen a few since then.
Yeah, we talked about the heart attack gun.
Mhm.
Kind of in that same vein, going back to like, not even really necessarily in the same vein. Going back to like bots on the internet.
Like Unreal Tournament bots.
Sure. I
Godlike.
mean, just bots in general.
Just
like,
bots. in
well, I
general.
mean,
Okay.
social media, you have bot accounts, right? They're
Mhm.
meant to they're there for a purpose, whether
Russian
it's spreading
bots,
ads,
Twitter bots,
right? Spreading fake information,
Battle bots.
whatever it
battle
be.
bots.
Well,
That's
I
my favorite kind of bot.
want to have the very highbrow conversation about Twitter bot or Tinder bots rather.
Tinder bots.
Tinder bots. Have you guys used Tinder?
Are they called thought bots?
I can
not
neither-
successfully.
Okay.
I can
I
neither
love that.
confirm
Not
nor deny my
successfully.
yes, I have used
Okay.
Tinder.
Have you guys ever? Because I'm single. I'm looking. I'm on Tinder. I'm on all the those things. Have you guys ever run into the porn bots?
Oh, yeah.
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
right.
Oh yeah.
What? That's so weird to me that works.
Now you're talking about where like they'll open a chat with you and be like, "Hey, what you doing?"
Hey honey.
Yeah, and then the
And
first
then-
thing
I'm
they do
5
is they're-
miles away.
Well, yeah, exactly. But
I feel like that's a different thing.
So that-
when you're talking about there, that's a
well,
that's,
there's a lot of work in that though. So let me just finish this thought here, in that the first thing they'll do is send a link to you and view my campsite, etc. Right? So they're just advertising for their whatever campsite.
I feel like that's the third message actually.
You think so?
Yeah,
message
like
is
the
like,
first
what
message
gotta
is
hook you
And
first.
you're like,
okay.
Hey
you're
honey.
like, oh shit, this like 11 is messaging me out of the blue.
Right.
Like warning flags.
Hey,
Oh,
what's up?
warning siren.
Want to see me squirt? www.
yeah, like
dot
yeah, that's the
supercams
second
dot com.
message. Want to
Right.
see me squirt?
Yeah,
Or,
exactly.
Hey,
Oh,
you want to
shit.
see nude pics?
Yeah.
No,
Or,
no
you know.
chick is doing. Yeah,
Follow my
if
Snapchat.
if it sounds too good to be true,
Then it's too good to be true.
then it
It
is.
So-
generally is.
So these are super obvious in their bios, right? They either don't have one and she's an 11,
Mhm.
and you're like, there's no way you live 5 miles away. I would have seen you by now. We live in a small community. But the amount of work that has to be gone into creating that account, right? They have to spoof like geolocation because these apps tell you how far away they are. So they have to are they buying a device to create a bot that is located in.
Is that
our city?
geospoofing thing? Is that a hard thing to do? I'm not aware.
I think I'm
I
pretty
don't-
sure it's per device. I don't think it's difficult to do.
'Cause I feel I'm kind of a Luddite when it comes to that. So I'm not sure like if like I mean sure what you're talking. It sounds impressive to me, but
It's not difficult.
Okay.
So I
What-
tried it once with Pokemon Go, and it was really easy.
You
I stopped
just-
doing it
you
immediately because I didn't
run
want to
an
get
app in
banned.
the background.
Yeah, it's running an app.
Now,
well, that's not how
tangent.
you become the very best, dude. You can't get there by cheating.
Well, yeah, I didn't want to cheat, and I didn't
That's
want to
the
get
only
banned.
way to
That's the main
get there.
thing.
Team Rocket.
Kill all your opponents. Then you'll be the best.
What were you saying, Nick?
I know that finding a user's IP address, assuming they have no general protection or knowledge of what they're doing, has been easy to do for freaking decades.
Sure.
So saying that, like, I also live in your hometown, that's really easy to do. But you're saying, like, their
But
accounts.
this is on an app. This is on an app, right?
Well, here's the thing to consider.
where my IP isn't
Occam's
shared.
razor. If there's 10, dodecillion accounts on Twitter that are all bots, it therefore must be pretty easy to make them,
Well, this is Tinder.
or whatever.
This
yeah.
is an app.
It doesn't matter.
Like it does.
If there's that many, it can't be difficult to make them.
Maybe it's just
Otherwise,
like
there wouldn't be that many.
maybe it's
right?
just like 15 people in a van traveling around from
but here's the
city to
thing, I'm-
city,
School bus.
trying to scam people from town to town.
How would you? Because it's app controlled. There's no on. You can't go to Tinder.com and look at people's Tinder profiles.
They just set their GPS
Right.
location on their phone or whatever program they're using to make
Yeah.
the account on to a thing. It could.
Sure.
It might even
I
be
understand
something
how
as
it's
simple
done.
as set location to the person who's viewing this page or something.
I don't know how they'd get that information since it's being all rerouted through an app.
I don't know.
Yeah. It's weird to me because the thing that strikes me the most is we live in a relatively small community, like population wise, and fairly segmented too, like not segmented, fairly isolated.
I would have to
community.
say, likely somehow they're setting their location based off of yours. They're not like populating every possible location with Twitter bots. That's the only real reasonable thing in my mind. They're finding a way to say, what is the end user's location? Now set the bot's location to that. I don't know how
That
they do
still
that.
seems like a fuckload of work for potentially very
Is it
little
more
result.
work than making lots of Twitter bots for every city ever?
Well, and I feel like you're assuming the lots of work is just so that they'll view their fucking ChatterBait page or whatever. I feel like
Yeah.
this is so you click on that link. Oh well, maybe it's real. You
Yeah.
click on that link, and now like, oh hey, there's your banking information. Because I feel like that's really
It's still again.
is that a thing again?
No, not really.
That's so that's not even a so it I don't know.
No, because so it's on mobile platforms where that shit's fairly hard to like to steal your information from.
They want you to get you off the app and to their website.
Yeah.
So that you can view their cams and
Right.
whatnot. And not necessarily just to steal your information, which they're probably attempting to do, but also so that you can watch the cams and then make an account to pay money to see full-length cam videos or private
Or even if you like
things.
pretend to have a campsite and you're just out there collecting credit card information.
That's really easy
Right.
to do too.
Yeah.
It's phishing. Phishing
Yeah.
is super common. now.
and that's what it is phishing. The end result, though, knowing what I know about how like the end user's portion works, is they're not going to get your personal information from you unless you give it to them.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yes, they could collect your credit card information if you're like, oh yeah, I'm gonna check this Tinder girl's campsite out.
People do
It
that
just-
though.
People definitely do that. I mean, people fall prey to this shit all the time. I've worked in tech industry for a long time.
Oh yeah.
Helping old people get out of phishing scams, and it's a it was a daily occurrence that people's identities were being stolen, and they come to me for help.
Well,
It's like,
I'm
well, don't come to
personally-
me, go to the police first. But
Listener, if you do one thing today, it's to not click on email links.
yes,
that
don't
you
click
don't
on
recognize.
links. Yeah, that you don't recognize.
Learn how to read an email address and to figure out what's trustworthy and what's not.
Yeah.
Our parents we grew up and our parents told us, don't trust everything you see on the internet. And then they turned right around and did it themselves.
They absolutely did.
I can't tell you how many times I get like a message from my dad. It was like, "Oh, I just saw this," and it's like, "Dad, don't believe everything you read on the internet. You told me that when I was 9. Can
Yeah.
you like get with the times here, bro?"
But this dinosaur is real and they found it in Turkey.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
That was photoshopped.
Shoot.
They found it in Australia.
Finally, the truth is out. I knew it would rise to the surface eventually.
Speaking of truths that are out there, when is the Alien March supposed to happen again?
September, I don't remember.
20th?
September
I thought it was
20th, I think.
August 20th?
No, it's September.
I hope people.
Pretty sure
go.
it's September 20th. People are definitely going to go. Nothing's going to come of it.
You never
Either way, the
know.
memes are going to be incredible.
Oh, yeah. Dude, the memes are already so good.
Oh, I know, right?
Like the alien that I brought home.
Dad.
Oh, my, yeah,
Zuckerberg's dad. Oh my God.
the alien that I brought home telling me that he threw up. Oh, so many good memes.
I
think it's
hope.
gonna be a
I
huge
hope
letdown.
September comes around and then October rolls around, and everything's different because we know aliens are for real.
Solve all the world's problems.
Your own little alien there.
Man, I wish Grays were that small.
Oh my God, pocket aliens would be the best.
Me walking to my
They
parents'
could
room at
be.
2 a.m. telling them I threw up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man, so many good memes. So many good memes. And honestly, I don't think anything's gonna come of it. Like nobody is getting in Area 51. That's not happening. It's just not.
No.
I also think they're not going to use deadly force on these people unless they do start getting into Area 51. But I don't think that's a possibility. And stop rubbing yourself against your microphone.
It feels good.
That's
It
great.
feels so
Stop
good.
rubbing yourself on your microphone.
I
Pervert.
can't stop.
Yeah.
Pervert.
Oh,
Dude,
my.
rub your beard on it.
No, don't rub your
No,
beard
I'm
on
not.
it.
I'm gonna.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
stop
resist
rubbing
that
it-
urge.
Stop rubbing things on the microphone.
It feels really nice.
Just be a big sticker. Stick on your forehead so that he can see it from across the table. Don't touch the mic.
I just need a sign that says "knock it off." Like, just, hey, just say, hey.
Like one of those Roadrunner signs.
Yeah, absolutely. That's
Yeah.
that's how I
I
mean
mean-
exactly.
I think it's a good rule of thumb not to rub yourself on other people's things.
Says the guy that, dude, are we gonna tell him about the curtains?
Curtains. Say
We are,
it.
we are not.
We
going
need
to
at least
talk about-
one Josh story for your first
Ooh, yeah.
podcast here.
You know, you're not.
you have
you're,
a plethora, but we need a good one.
we're gonna get you on the podcast more regularly, but you know.
I really hope to be on more regularly. I'm excited
yeah,
to be
yeah.
here. It's fun.
but
You
it's
have
your first time. We
It's
need
my
a we
first
need a
time,
Josh
yeah.
story.
It's my first time.
We don't
Okay,
need
well,
we don't
like-
need the curtain, but you know something.
Okay,
Give me
like,
something.
We'd appreciate the curtain.
We absolutely would.
we're not getting the curtain. I mean,
The people want the curtain.
and the people will
They're-
get the
they're-
curtain if they subscribe.
They're texting
There you
us.
go.
They're
Like,
they're tweeting
gotta
us
tease
right
them.
now saying,
like,
"Give us the
let's
curtain."
get some unique downloads, and maybe I'll talk about.
Let's-
the
Let's
curtain.
make a Tinder bot for Josh. He's like, hey, want to see the curtain story?
Do you
Click my
remember when
link.
we made that fake dating profile for one of our friends?
Oh.
And
Who
he
was that for?
Oh, we're
Uh,
I remember who it was for,
We
but
can
I
say a first name.
I don't
Okay.
think we should because I don't want to embarrass the
that's
guy.
fine.
You know,
That's
like
appreciated.
yeah,
Yeah.
let's we'll keep
That
it
guy.
confidential.
What was the first letter?
We're not dude.
Just
you're
tell
not.
the story and he'll remember.
So in any case, like we made the dating profile, and we took his exact picture, but we photoshopped an evil curly mustache on it.
Oh yeah.
Like Dudley Do Right's villain. What's that guy's name? Dastardly.
Yeah.
Dastardly something. Dastardly Do Wrong or well, I mean whatever.
yeah.
But we just made it evil version of him and took like virtually everything he said, but just added evil as a descriptor to it. Like I like taking long evil walks on the beach.
That's so good. I wonder if it got like it captured anything like
I don't
that.
know.
You know, if that net grabbed anybody.
Right?
Someone probably
Well-
just thought it was funny.
Yeah. I mean, that seems like that just anymore. That seems like a normal thing.
Yeah.
Like in my Tinder profile, I let them know that I'm Batman.
Well, I've never seen you or Batman at the same place.
Damn
so
straight you haven't.
Mm-hmm.
I can't. I mean,
Yeah.
that math tracks.
Can't be denied. Yeah. Try to argue.
Proven a negative.
I can't.
Fun times.
That's right.
Speaking of watching movies, I rewatched Endgame like you do over a weekend.
No,
Endgame.
I haven't
Oh.
seen it the first
Over
Oh,
time.
a
I
weekend
haven't
because that's how
either.
long the damn
That's the
movie
event.
It is.
one, right?
Yeah, it's the
Yeah.
Avengers one. And at some point in it, Ant-Man says, "But Back to the Future lied to us?" And it's like, well, yeah, kind of. I mean, 2015, long time ago now, right, guys? I mean, 4 years,
Mhm.
long time ago.
Well,
Long?
The Avengers lied to us. I didn't get snapped.
Yeah, well, I mean,
I got snapped on Reddit.
I don't know anybody that got snapped.
Maybe we just were in the.
well, I mean,
lucky
like,
half.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
It could be that haven't seen it on mainstream media. It's they're too busy spreading fake
So,
news.
I mean, besides the Avengers lie, but Back to the Future, right? It's like
Yeah.
a whole, they like disprove that like time theory thing as a thing in the movie or whatever. Just watch the movie. You'll see the thing. But like, I do feel Back to the Future did kind of like lie to us a little bit. Where's my hoverboard at? I'm going to throw the Jetsons under the bus a little bit too. It's 2019. Why am I folding my own shirts still?
A dude just crossed the English Channel on a jetpack.
Yeah, but I still have to fold my own shirts. Where's my Rosie coming around going, Mr. J, let me get that for you. Like washing dishes inside of her body to put them away. And like, I mean,
Pretty amazing.
Alexa will have a body soon.
that's a terrifying prospect.
That is a terrifying prospect.
But there's your Rosie.
Well, honestly, all right. So Alexa having a body, that doesn't scare me that much. Think about it. You get married to somebody, you tell them everything. You tell your Alexa everything. It's basically the same thing.
Right.
So you're just gonna get married to your Alexa?
Yeah,
once
just
has a
marry my
body?
dude. It'll be 2025.
Well,
You're not
finally,
gonna worry
Alexa
about
can
waking up in the
truly
middle of
be
the night
useful
and in the
throw
dark
some
you can
hand
just see
jobs.
the damp silhouette of the robot standing there. I know what your favorite song is.
No, that's fine. A wife could do that too.
Yeah, but it'd be funny.
I've had some weird girlfriends. I track the weird ones.
See, the weird thing is that like the legs are the problem. It wasn't until Boston Dynamics. Now let me extrapolate
What?
here and explain.
The robot
Go on.
legs?
It
Go
wasn't
on.
until Boston Dynamics that we really saw pretty effective walking robots.
Yeah.
Because legs, it's so goddamn hard to walk, and we don't think
Yeah.
about it because the muscle movements are natural. But I would realistically see a robot on like freaking treads or little cute spider legs
Yeah.
or wheels like a Roomba before we see walking robots.
Yeah.
So now I'm just thinking of like an android, but the bottom half is a spider tank.
I believe Rosie had like
She had a little hover
that old
circle.
school. No, she had that old school like desk wheel, like that old school
Yeah.
desk
Wasn't it just,
chair
like, one
wheel thing.
wheel?
Yeah, it was one wheel.
Was
on
it
an
one wheel?
upside
It was
down
a single
cone.
wheel, yeah.
It was like a
How did she
unicycle,
balance?
wasn't
Her
it?
core muscles must have been super strong.
Wait a minute.
Dynamo
was it?
core.
I don't know. Look up a picture of Rosie.
Yeah, like I feel like she had like the whole
She
little.
might have had like a roller thing.
Yeah, like a whole like an old school desk chair roller deal.
You know why Jetsons lied to? Well, they haven't lied to us. It's because we haven't invented sprockets yet.
Oh, she did. She had a whole roller thing.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, see.
I just want to.
Actually, I could be completely wrong and stupid. Google sprocket when you're done.
I'm busy.
Is a sprocket a thing?
Oh, hey, there's.
Did you see that picture
I
over
don't-
there?
of
I don't need-
Lois Griffin there? Yeah.
I don't need to see this.
Yeah,
for
sure you do.
legal reasons.
Oh, this is.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, hey, bring up that kind of sexy.
What is
yep,
that?
that's the one I want to see there.
Really?
Okay.
That was one where I'm like, that's weird.
Golly, Mrs. J.
Oh,
Look
okay.
at that.
So we were looking
Oh.
that's what
that
that button
So,
does.
just
lewd Rosie the robot
Lou,
pictures
with a vibrating.
Well,
with her vibrating
attachment.
Well, that's what
Yeah.
happens when you look up Rosie and Sprocket.
what was I looking up?
Sprocket. I mean, I could be
Sprocket.
completely
Just-
wrong.
just
Is
Sprocket.
that a
Mr.
thing?
Sprocket.
They made sprockets at the place, right?
Yeah, no, he
No,
worked at the Sprocket place for Mr.
It totally is. a
Sprocket.
thing.
You didn't know what a sprocket was?
I didn't know if it was a real thing.
Yeah,
Oh,
man.
wheel.
This is like
A
simple
profile
machines.
wheel with teeth and cock. It's not simple.
Have you guys heard that fan theory that since the Jetsons and the Flintstones take place
On
at
the
the
same
same time?
Same
Well,
planet.
they had that
Yeah.
episode, right?
They had
Well,
a
they have
crossover.
crossovers. They do have
Yeah.
crossovers, but they never like they. So the idea is that the Flintstones are like mole people or Morlocks or what is
They
it from
live
the
on
time
ground.
machine?
It's
Yeah, they live
Morlocks,
on the
yeah.
ground,
Yeah.
and they're like the whole and then the Jetsons are like the
How
technological.
did they meet each
people.
other in the crossover? Are we sure the Jetsons didn't just like?
I feel like there was a
That was
time
like a
machine.
time rift or
I
something.
feel like there was a time machine thing, like
I don't
because
know.
his boy Elroy, the genius,
They,
Oh.
they started running fast enough in their car.
they're not Flash, dude. Like taking Astro out for a walk and the treadmill gets stuck on
No,
hyper.
it's
Yeah.
the Flintstone car.
Oh yeah.
Right? It was the
Yeah.
How fast would you have to run? What's the DeLorean speed?
88 miles per hour.
They
bro.
started running 88 miles per hour in their car.
Dude, kick them Lamborghinis up into high gear, you know?
If we had a realistic depiction of any of those Flintstone characters, you think about the fact that their car, the wheels, are stone. They're
Mhm.
like 3 feet thick in
Especially
diameter.
the Flintstone one. It's like
Yeah.
one of
Yeah.
those
And they run that
squid
thing up to
paving
speed
rollers.
so quickly. A real life depiction. Their cankles, thunder thighs, they'd just be 400 pounds, and it'd all be leg muscles.
Oh yeah,
They definitely didn't skip leg day.
yeah, dude. That thing is ridiculous. It's made almost
Yeah.
completely out of stone and like hardwood.
thousands of pounds. They also ate like entire brontosaurus
Look,
steaks,
there's
too.
a
Gotta get
replica,
those
like a
gains.
real life replica.
Well, I mean, yeah, they had. I think that's
That's a
just a prop
float,
from like the
It
movie or
looks
something.
like.
Well, they had the Flintstones movie, the real life one.
Malaysian Sultan gets
A
real
Malaysian
life
Sultan.
Flintstones car.
Wow.
What a world we live in.
Well, look, there's wheels under there. That clearly is not the wheel.
Yeah.
That's some bullshit.
Go to a picture that was a little bit lower than
Yeah.
that one though. There was like a one that
Like
looked
that one?
the
No,
one-
like no, if you back out.
Oh, keep going. It's the one right after that one. There you
Oh,
go.
that
This
one.
one.
Yeah, yeah, that one right there.
That one looks.
Looks pretty good
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
a Flintstones car.
I don't think that's stone.
Probably not.
No, but
I wonder what that is. It's probably like foam or something.
Yeah, it'd have to be.
I've
right.
always wanted a lazy boy like scooter chair, like it's an actual
Oh.
lazy boy, but you put like an engine in it.
yeah, and,
Steering
and
wheel.
you could
You just,
so like a motorized
you've
wheelchair,
seen him on like
but
America's Funniest videos and shit. I saw
yeah,
that.
Jackass or whatever,
Yeah.
you know. I feel like they did a lazy boy race in Jackass. Maybe it was on sleds or something like. It was like couch sledding or some shit like that, but
Do you guys follow Steve-O at all anymore?
no. But he
I watched
is
some of his YouTube
apparently
stuff.
just a wonderful human being.
Yeah, yeah.
These days, like adopting dog, like
Didn't he
that
get arrested
huge-
for
He gets arrested for everything.
like protesting
Yeah, SeaWorld.
SeaWorld?
Yeah,
He
right?
climbed up
Yeah.
on the thing.
Yeah, he
Mhm.
did like some weird climbing stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. That dude is pretty fucking active. I think right now he's doing stand up.
Okay.
But yeah, I think you guys should definitely follow his YouTube channel.
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
pretty fascinating. Dude put a fucking Black Widow in his mouth for shits and giggles.
Yeah.
Crazy bastard. That's the scariest thing he's ever done in my book. But I know, yeah.
Just gave me the shit. Did you
I
see that?
I saw that. Yeah, that was a jump
In
Um,
the relative scale of things, it's probably like a 4 for him. out of
Yeah.
10.
Yeah, well, I mean,
for sure. Oh, I know he's done some.
butt
some crazy
chugging and butt rockets.
yeah,
You know, I mean,
for sure. I'd do butt rockets before I did Black Widow in the mouth. I'm just saying.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I definitely would.
Yeah.
I'd get a little bit of a burnied ass, but
I'd have to think
there's
about
probably
it.
less chance of me dying.
Here's the thing with the butt rocket.
well, that's the
you've got
accelerated way you get your taint jerky, there, bro.
That's
Hyperspeed Taint Jerky. There's the name of the. No, I don't want to name the podcast.
Yeah,
that.
no, don't. You should name anything that.
no.
Name his jerky that.
Yeah, but where was it going with that? What were we talking? What were we talking about?
Put
Black Widows.
Black Widow, Steve-O, he's doing
Steve-O.
cool
Yeah,
things.
Jackass.
Jackass.
He recently was interviewed and said that there's a possibility of a Jackass 4, which I am all about. I fucking love those movies.
That's what I was just thinking. They're gonna kill themselves.
They're too old.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
least
go
it'll be
out
on
doing
tape.
what we love.
Exactly.
I mean, Steve-O's still doing it.
Yeah.
Like he's just straight up still doing the same shit.
entertained?
You know, Steve-O never stopped. I guess apparently it's all Johnny Knoxville. If he signs on, then Jackass 4 gets made.
Yeah.
Well, I
I don't
mean-
know about Bam Margera. He's kind of a blimp
went-
now, but
The rehab. I don't know if he's still doing
Yeah,
that or not.
yeah, as far as I know, with Follow Up, he's still sober. He's
Well,
gone back to
I mean-
skateboarding.
That's good.
So the X Games were on earlier today. I
Oh.
don't know if you guys
That's
knew
still
this.
a
No.
thing, huh?
That,
Oh,
yeah.
dude, it's such a thing.
Yeah.
And I was watching. What was it that I was watching?
It's
It was
like
a skate-
Extreme Olympics, yeah.
Yeah, I was watching the skateboarding competition, the one where they do the street skating,
Mhm.
right? Where they just skate in a park for like a minute or whatever. And
Freestyle. What's a
it's like
freestyle?
freestyling, right? And as I'm watching it, I was like, I'm surprised skateboarding isn't more of a spectator sport.
Yeah,
Like, it's so much fun to watch people who know what they're doing on skateboarding.
dude, I grew up on skate videos. I wanted to
Yeah.
be a pro skater when I was younger.
How-
and
like,
It
I
is
mean,
so much fun
I just
to
got fat
watch.
instead.
How many hours did I dumped plenty into Tony Hawk Pro Skater?
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
For
right?
sure.
Easy route. Oh yeah.
Those were just good games.
And every
Yeah.
once in a while, they tried to do some like cool competitive skateboarding,
Yeah.
like leagues.
I think we just don't have Tony Hawk anymore, and he was the official face of skateboarding, especially
Yeah.
vert.
It's also a young sport.
It is, yeah.
I mean, you compare it to some of the other sports we have that are popular, and
Although the skaters that were big in our day are still skating, and they're in their 40s and 50s. I mean,
Yeah.
Tony Hawk is.
I'm
in
just
his 50s.
thinking of basketball,
You know.
football, baseball. Those things have been around so much longer than professional skateboarding.
Oh, you mean young sport is in like it hasn't been around for too long.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah.
I don't follow the sport world enough to know if it's growing or waning in its popularity.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Maybe it was a fad.
You know what sport is growing in popularity? Apparently, cornholing.
Oh,
like
yeah.
that's becoming
It's
like
not a sport.
No,
That's a
no,
game.
It was on ESPN, bro. It's a
Oh.
sport.
That doesn't mean it's a sport.
Oh, we're gonna have this
According-
discussion again.
It's a game. Darts.
Tossing,
Darts is on ESPN. It's not a sport. It's a game.
throwing an object to hit a small thing isn't a sport.
It's a game.
Seems like it to me.
So- playing a game.
Then basketball's a game. You're throwing a thing
Yeah.
into a small target. It's not a sport.
Go to a baseball game, right?
You're just saying.
Baseball's a
I
sport.
could be wrong. I'm
You
putting
just
words
think
in
it
your
has to be
mouth.
more active?
Sport.
Physically.
So is
Sport involved. So I actually heard it described once really, really well. I think you can split the hair at sport implies the ability for both opponents to score at the same time, whereas a game does not. So baseball is a game,
What? That's such a weird
whereas
definition of
football is a sport.
So, sport is, the first result is an activity involving physical exertion and skill in which an individual or a team competes against another or others for entertainment.
I've never heard. It's fine, but I've never heard that definition of sport. That
No, it was like a personal definition. It
Oh,
was just
okay.
like, it was like
Okay.
that conversation had come up, and that was how he had grouped it
name
up.
a
and I was like,
sport then.
football.
You
'Cause-
can't score at the same time. In
Yeah, you
football.
can.
Either-
The
either
defense has an opportunity
to
to score
intercept the
every,
ball and score.
That's
or
not at the same
recover a
time.
fumble. The defense and the offense are on the field at the same time.
Yeah,
The possibility.
I think you're
for
misinterpreting
then-
the phrase "same time."
Not that they can simultaneously score together.
So if
together.
you
But they-
take turns, it can't be a sport. So bowling's not a sport.
So
Right.
because the
Bowling is a
defenders
game.
in baseball, like if you're in the field, there's no possible way for them to score a run while
So
they're
baseball
in
is
the
a
field.
game,
would be
not
a
a
game,
sport.
according to Andrew.
Okay.
Soccer is a sport.
Okay. I get
Tennis
you.
is a sport.
I understand now.
Yeah.
It's a little baffling, but yeah.
I thought it was a pretty
So
good distinction
esports,
when I heard it. Esports.
sports, are they athletes in your
No,
opinion? No, they're not. They're not athletes.
they're competitors,
Okay.
but that does not make them athletes.
So,
Is a chess player an athlete?
I don't know. Can you do what a professional chess player does?
No, but
Can you do what a professional esports player does?
but somebody not being able to do something
Yeah,
doesn't make it
That's not a
athletic.
defining feature.
I don't know, but it's a skill where they're like
Yeah,
that
no,
you
so
don't
it's
like
competitive.
that. Not all of us have
So I
that
said,
they're
like,
competing against.
They're
I don't know.
competitors. Yeah,
Being really
but they're
good
not
at something
athletic.
doesn't make you an athlete.
Yeah,
A programmer isn't an athlete if they're really good at programming.
yeah, but I mean, a programmer like can get up and take a
No,
pee break. I
We
mean,
have to.
if
what's
you're
the
if you're
definition
playing
of athlete, I imagine it would have to be someone that competes in a physical activity.
yeah,
Then the argument is there enough physical activity in esports, which is hand-eye coordination?
I see some shaking
speed.
heads, so I feel like I'm on the wrong side here. Like, I mean, like I don't know. Like, I'm just kind of wanting to know like where
I think
you're defining it.
I think we need to start considering: do we need to redefine these terms?
yeah.
When these
it might
terms-
be time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I think in the competitive nature of esports, they
'Cause-
are sports.
Yeah.
Sports
See,
light, maybe.
I mean,
When
I
I-
don't.
But I
know.
don't think they're athletes.
When I hear the term esports, I think of that as a marketing figurehead more than like an
Well, I mean-
accurate description of what is happening.
But you are playing a game competitively against
I dis-
another or a team.
Yeah.
Like that does follow under the purview of the definition of sports.
Sure, yeah.
Well, say
absolutely.
something like the NBA, real sports, basketball has fully embraced esports. Every
Yeah.
NBA team has an esports NBA
Fuck
team.
yeah, that's cool.
Mhm.
And like with players, and they
Mhm.
play like the teams will play each other before the game or whatever,
That's
or
cool.
after.
And I mean, those simulations have gotten so accurate
Yeah,
at this point.
but at this
predicting
point,
the
like
outcomes of the actual game. it's
NBA
interesting.
20K,
Yeah,
20
yeah.
whatever. Like each NBA team has players, and they play each other. Like as like that's like the simulation thing you're talking about. But it's like, oh, see who's what's what. You know,
Yeah.
who's doing here.
You know what I think as a line that you could draw is the difference between hand-eye coordination and the use of your rest of your body. So playing darts, in my opinion, whatever darts should be, it should be in the same category as esports. It's all hand-eye coordination,
Games.
muscle memory, that kind of stuff, right?
So it's
But
racing.
you're
to you.
not using the rest of your body. I mean, besides stance and whatnot, that's one thing. But I don't know exactly what that would mean in definition. I just feel like those should probably be of a similar category because it takes a lot of practice and work to be good at darts or to be good at esports, right? But again, it's all hand and eye. There's not a lot else used. So you're not ducking and diving and jumping and
Says you.
well, once
Maybe
we
you're
get into
not
VR
right.
sports, VR sports is going to be a whole nother thing.
Yeah.
Eventually, the
Yeah.
headsets will be super light, and
Have you
That's
guys
true, man.
have you guys seen professional tag?
Yes.
Competitive
That
tag.
shit is
Oh, it's
fucking
insane. Yeah.
crazy.
Like, it makes my joints hurt looking
Oh,
at
yeah.
it. It gives me
Parkour.
anxiety watching it.
Yeah.
Like,
I watched some of that at work recently.
shit's
Man,
pretty
that
cool.
was excellent.
yeah.
Well, guys, we're running a little bit long. Is there anything else we
Mhm.
wanted to talk about before we wrap it up tonight?
Oh, probably, but
I mean, there's always more to talk about.
There's always more to talk about. Did you guys have any points that you wanted to bring up that we haven't talked about?
I kind of got a fart and it won't come out.
All
Well,
right.
like, ew.
I'm excited.
Well,
for
speaking
it
of,
to
like,
come out.
I don't know,
Go use
like,
the bathroom.
earlier this week, I was ordering toys, helping my boss order toys for where I work, and this toy magazine. I confused it for a sex toy. It was like a large tube of noise putty, but it was a suggestive like making the
Oh,
noise
two
with
fingers.
the two fingers into the
Yeah.
tube.
Fart tube.
Yeah.
And my initial thought was, that's a pocket pussy in this thing here. And I'm like, wait, no, this is for children's toys.
Why
It's
is
right
this in
next
a
to
toy thing?
stuffed unicorns and shit. Why was that? I don't know. But like, it's just maybe like, you ever confused? Like, have you ever confused a regular toy for a sex toy, or vice versa?
There's phallic toys all the time. There was that recall on the
Yeah.
Harry Potter wands because they vibrated.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, the
Girls-
broomstick.
yeah.
The
Or not
broomstick.
wands, yeah, the broomstick.
Oop,
Yeah.
bumped the table. Sorry, my bad.
I don't know.
Yeah, like that would.
You stare long enough in the abyss and everything starts looking like a dick.
It starts looking.
That's
bad
how the
again.
quote goes, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you start looking at anything too long, and it starts
Yeah,
looking like a dick.
Yeah.
Educate your mind. Don't let the brain cells die. Come on, it's balcony time.